This woman said she ignored a lot of red flags in her marriage because she kept believing things would eventually get better. Until one day, she realized she might actually be dealing with someone dangerous.
We listen and we don't judge. I'm going to tell you guys a story about how I made the biggest mistake of my life, which is marrying and having a child with my abusive, soon to be ex husband. I need to tell you guys like the full rundown, like how I met him all the way until when I filed for divorce, because if I tell you guys like bits and pieces, you're not really going to understand and get the full dynamic. So I'm just going to take from the top. So I'm an Army veteran, and my soon-to-be ex-husband at the time was an active duty Marine. He was stationed at 29 Palms, and I met him when I moved to California. So first red flag, y'all, I met him on Tinder. First red flag, yeah. Just take me out the game, just take me. And when I met him, I'm not gonna lie, y'all, I was already going through it because I had just found out that my best friend was a snake the whole entire time, and he was the reason why I moved to California in the first place. So when I moved to California and I found out that my best friend was a snake, I didn't have anybody there. I didn't know anybody there. He was the only person that I knew that lived in California. So I met this guy on Tinder and we hit it off really well. Like, he was really sweet. He was handsome, and he was just very supportive and just there for me. Like, whenever I needed to talk or anything like that, he was just there for me. And y'all, I'm not gonna lie, like, this is a different story in itself, but like, I was just so heartbroken that my best friend like had me move to California and stuff, and just for him to turn around and like dog me out the way that he did. So when I got with my soon-to-be ex-husband, like, I kind of overlooked a lot of the red flags that he had because I was just so caught up in how my ex-best friend did me so dirty. Y'all, when I first met my soon-to-be ex-husband, y'all, like, we were talking on the phone for, I want to say, maybe a month before I like went to go see him. And when I went to go see him, like, then we hit it off. He asked me to be his girlfriend. Like, he was a very sweet and genuine person, so I thought. And I fell in love with him. We would go out on dates every chance, like every time we would spend together, like we would just go on dates together. Like, the whole experience was just so pleasant, and I could be myself. Like, I didn't feel insecure when I was around him. Like, he really made me feel loved. Now, at the time that I met my soon-to-be ex-husband, he was also going through some things as well with the military. And I totally understand that because I used to be in the military, and I used to go, y'all, anybody that been in the military, y'all know we go through some shit when we in the military. Like, them, your chain of command, y'all, I be ready. When I was in, I stayed in trouble all the time because people used to, y'all know. So when he used to tell me about the things that he was going through, and then on top of that, the Marine Corps, that is like the worst branch that anybody could ever join. Like, don't shoot the messenger. I'm just saying what I heard, and what I know. Like, it's the bottom of the barrel out of all the branches. No offense, like, y'all some tough people, but the living conditions and all of that stuff, like, it's not it. So basically, I understood that he was, going through some things and, being treated unfairly. And he was like literally maybe like, I think one of three black men in his whole platoon, and everybody else was white. That's just how it was. So I was being a really supportive girlfriend, and, just basically talking him through, basically like just telling him to hang in there, at least, like, hang in there long enough so you can get the benefits, like going to school, and at least some claiming some disabilities or something, like, just stay in, just keep on pushing, and after your first contract, just get out, leave. So from there, he ended up, getting out. He didn't finish his full contract or whatever, but he ended up getting out, and I'm glad. Well, at the time, I was glad because he was complaining a lot, but I never like showed that to him that I was annoyed with him complaining and stuff. But I was just happy that he was finally getting out because you know how somebody be like, they complaining and they telling you about something, and then it's just like, now it's getting me heated. Now I can't, like, now I feel like I'm in the situation myself. It's just very stressful. Now here's where I need y'all to listen to me, but don't judge me, please, because I know I fucked up. I hit my head all the time, like, bitch, you fucked up. So I'm just asking that y'all listen and you don't judge me, because people do stupid things for love. So with that being said, when I first met him and I started talking to him on Tinder, I asked him, like, hey, do you have a driver's license? Like, I'm not asking you to have a car. I'm just saying, like, do you have a driver's license? Reason being is because when I was in the military, I had a boyfriend who did not have a driver's license, and I literally had to drive us everywhere that we needed to go. And I didn't want to be in another relationship that was like that. Like, you drive, I drive. Like, when I'm tired, like, let's alternate, basically. Like, I don't want to be the only one driving. So when I asked him, do you have a driver's license? He told me, yes, of course I have a driver's license. Why wouldn't I? What? Of course I got a driver's license. What kind of question is that? I got a driver's license and a car. So then I was like, okay, cool. And I told him the reason why. Like, I've been in a relationship before with a person, they didn't have a driver's license, and I just don't want to be in that type of situation again. And he, was cool with that. He like, yeah, why wouldn't I have a driver's license? That's crazy. He's a bum. So with that being said, I used to drive. So from Fort Irwin to 29 Palms, it's like maybe a 2.5 hour drive. So I used to drive my car all the way to 29 Palms. That's what I'm talking about. Don't judge me. But I used to drive to 29 Palms, you know, because at the time, and I understood because a lot of people in the military don't have cars. Like they just don't have them. So I used to drive to go see him and stuff like that. So one day I was asking him like, hey, can you drive? You know, like I'm tired of driving. My neck hurts. Like, you know, because I had been doing it every single weekend, y'all. Like driving there to see him and driving back. And then sometimes I would drive there. Don't judge me. I would drive there. We would drive back to Fort Irwin. I would drive back to the 29 Palms and then have to drive myself back to Fort Irwin. And that's a lot of fucking driving, y'all. That's a lot. I put a lot of miles on my car driving. So I used to ask him like, hey, you know, can you, you know, help me drive? And he used to like just make up all these excuses as to why he couldn't drive. Now, mind y'all, I didn't really hone in on the fact that he was, you know what I'm saying, lying or whatever, because I had so much drama going on with my best friend, because we lived with my ex-best friend, we lived in a house together, and it was just drama after drama. So I'm like over here dealing with this situation, and I can't really like focus on this other situation that was going on and these lies that was being told to me. So every time I would ask him, like, can you drive? He would just make up an excuse like, oh, I need glasses. Because he did wear glasses. But he would just like, I don't want to mess up your car or whatever because I'm blind as a bat without my glasses. Like, I really need my glasses. So I was like, okay, you know, that's a valid reason. I'm going to wait until you get your glasses. Y'all, the glasses came. And then I'm like, hey, can you help me drive? Can you help me drive now since you got your glasses? This dude talking about some, oh, your car is so nice and stuff like that. Like, I just don't want to ruin your car. And, you know, I just don't want to mess up your car. And I kind of overlooked it because at the time I had a BMW, and it was a really nice car. It was really, really nice. But y'all, if you got a BMW, if you got a luxury car like that, you know that it's expensive. A cracked rim on my car used to cost me like $225 to fix. So I used to be like, oh, you know, okay, like, you know, little, I kind of, you know, can agree with that a little. Y'all, I'm going to start a new video and continue with the story. So please like, comment, and follow me. Thank you. So he would say like, yeah, I don't want to ruin your car, and you have such a nice car. I just don't want to mess it up, and I know it costs a whole lot of money to fix it, and, you know, just all this, you know, BS. So I would just be like, well, if you know how to drive a car, then you wouldn't be nervous about messing up my car. Like, you know, like everybody who knows, like, you driving a car, I'm not gonna say it's the exact same, but you learn it, knowing how to operate a vehicle, you're not gonna be like, oh yeah, when I'm gonna mess up this person's car. Like, I drive I'm not gonna say I drive a damn Honda, you know what I'm saying, the same way I would drive, because, you know, a BMW or whatever, a luxury car is, you know, faster, you know, whatever, but still, you know how to drive a car. Like, y'all can agree with me on that, right? Like, you know how to operate a vehicle. So I've had it on the back of my mind or whatever, but I was just thinking, like, why would somebody just lie about something so simple? You know, like, just something so simple. Mind y'all, this man is 3 years older than me. So if I'm 28 years old, this man is 31 right now, and still to this day, he does not have a driver's license. But let's go back. So anywho, at the time or whatever, I was just like, he's, you know, 3 years older than me. Like, and I think at that time I was maybe like 24, so he had to be 27. So I'm just like, why, you know, like, why would he lie to me about something and then be so confident with the lie on top of that? But y'all, he was. I don't know how, but because I just, me personally, I'm not a good liar, or, you know, or a compulsive liar where I would just have to keep on. Eventually, I'm gonna be like, yeah, I don't got that shit. I don't got it, you know. But that wasn't him. That wasn't his case. So I started asking him like, yo, can I see, you know, your driver's license or whatever? And then he would start telling me like, oh, it's still back at home. And I'm like, any other person or whatever, like if they had their driver's license, like for me, for instance, right? When I first joined the military, I was 18. No, I was 17 when I signed up, and I was 18 when I left for basic training. But before I left for basic training, y'all, I made sure I got my driver's license before I left, because I knew that, yeah, I'm going to want to drive a car. I'm going to want to get me a car when I get to my duty station. So that part right there just wasn't making no sense to me. Like, how you got your driver's license, but you didn't bring it out here with you, basically. So y'all, I know y'all probably like, why are you harping so much on this driver's license? It's because the whole relationship was based on a freaking lie, y'all. Like, the bitch was lying to me about all this shit that just did not need to be lied about. Like, you could have just came to me and just told me that you didn't fucking have it, and then I would have made the executive decision. Like, do I want to fuck with this dude and he have a driver's license or whatever? Am I willing to overlook that? Who knows? Maybe I would have, you know what I'm saying? Because at the time, I literally didn't have nobody. Like, so, you know, I might have. Who knows? But you just lied.
See, sometimes the first lie sounds small until you realize the small lie was hiding a much bigger problem, like more lies. So all he do is lie.
Fast forward, y'all, we done been into a relationship for about a year, right? And I remember we had spent our first year anniversary or whatever in Vegas. So then when I came back from Vegas, I found out that I was pregnant. So I told him, you know, I was pregnant or whatever, and he was so happy, y'all. He's so happy. He was the happiest man ever. When we was together, he used to tell me like, yeah, I really wish I want to be a father so bad. I just really want to be a father. Like, I didn't have my daddy, and you know, I just really want to be a father, and I want a little girl. I want a daughter. I really want a daughter, and I want to name her Nirvana. So with that being said, I'm like, okay, we about to be a family. He really wants to, have this child or whatever. Like we're going to get married, all of the above. So at this point, mind you, still no driving, y'all. Still no driving. So I think, no. So let me go back. So then at this point or whatever, he had already came clean that his driver's license was expired or something like that or whatever. And in the state of California, if you don't have your actual physical copy of your driver's license, they will make you take the test all over again. Like you got to take the written test and the actual driver's test all over again, especially if you lost your driver's license and it's from a different, city, state, whatever, you got to do the whole process all over again. So he like, yeah, I'm just going to take the whole test all over again, whatever, right? But then he comes and tells me, but at this time, y'all, I'm 4 months pregnant. I'm showing, she in there. So he comes to me, he tells me like, yeah, I want to get a little refresher because it's been a while since I drove. So here's where the bullshit start, y'all. Here where the bullshit start. I mean, it been started, but here's where it really fucking starts. Mind you, my dumb ass then asked my ex-best friend or whatever if he can move into the house with us. And everybody was fucking telling me, nah, you don't do that shit. Don't do it. Don't do it. Be in a long-distance relationship. Let's, all of that stuff. And I did not, y'all, I'm dumb. So the bitch was living with us. So, yeah, so then he asked me like, yeah, let's hit like a little refresher or whatever. So I'm like, okay, cool. So one day I take him to this parking lot that we had in, on Fort Irwin, and it literally never had no cars in it. So I asked him to do a loop around the parking lot. Like literally just drive to one end, turn, come down to the other end, turn, and then randomly I'm gonna select the parking spot that I want you to back into. Right? Easy. Sounds real easy. So tell me why this bitch could not fucking do it. He couldn't do it. No. Like, I'm telling y'all, this man has never operated a vehicle a day in his life. He could not do it. Something so simple could not fucking do it. So by this time, I'm feeling like Risa Tisa, like, yo, who the fuck did I get pregnant by? Like, what in the, how, Sway? So then when I asked him, because at this point, I'm disgusted, not only with him, but with myself, because I'm just like, yo, how the fuck did how did we even get here? How did we get here? So I'm asking him, like, you don't know how to drive at all. You never drove before. Now, here's where this nigga becomes a narcissist, y'all. Here's where he becomes a narcissist. Tell me why this nigga starts crying. He starts playing the victim. You lied to me. You've been lying to me this whole time. And then when you finally get caught up in your lie, you start crying. Now I'm off the driver's license situation. Because it's like every time I would catch him in a lie, he would start crying. He would start playing the victim. And at this point, I'm pregnant. I'm 4 months pregnant. So then afterwards, like I start really like dissecting the whole situation, which I should have did from the beginning. That's why I'm saying, y'all, we listen and we don't judge, we listen and we don't judge. But I start dissecting the whole situation. I'm just like, bro, like this nigga really lied to you. I don't think that you should have this baby. I don't think so. It would not behoove of you to have this child. Now, granted, I love my daughter. I love her to pieces. I would do anything. I would die for her. But at the same time, it's like, I had a feeling that it was like God was trying to tell me, Naya, is not going to play out the way you think that it's going to play out. So at that point, I sat him down and I told him about how I was thinking about having a smortion, because he did not have a driver's license. He lied. Then every time I catch him in a lie, he starts crying. Every single time, just starts crying. So then, not to mention, he was not working. He just wasn't contributing to the relationship at all at that point. So then when I tell him that I'm thinking that we should, have a smortion, because it's not like at the end of the day, I'm gonna be left holding the bag, because I feel like right now I can't depend on you because you've been lying to me our whole entire relationship so far, literally. So yeah, I told him that I was thinking about, that we should get, some smortion, because at the end of the day, I'm gonna be left with all the responsibility, and that's not fair. Like you said that you wanted this child, you said that you that you wanted to be a father and stuff, but you keep lying about the simplest shit over and over and over again, and then you start crying every time when I catch you in a lie. Like, it's just like, I don't know. It's just, I was starting to feel like this person is sick. So with that being said, he basically guilted me, telling me I can't believe you would just, to think about having a smortion, and how bad I wanted to be a father, how bad I love this child, how bad I wanted a daughter, and blah blah, all this stuff or whatever. So, and it worked, because I ended up keeping our daughter. So I love my daughter. I love my daughter, y'all. I do. I love her. I'm just disappointed in myself with who I chose to procreate with. That's all. But anywho, so I'm gonna start, getting into the good parts and stuff. So I ended up having a baby. And then on top of that, so y'all, then I didn't got past, I'm still harping on the fact that he lied to me about the driver's license thing. But I'm like, at this point, it is what it is. There's nothing I can do about it. All we can do is focus on, him getting his driver's license. So yeah, so then this is where, stuff starts getting, a little crazy. So I remember I was talking to my mom and my sister about what I wanted to name, our daughter. So he told me that he wants to name her Nirvana. And at the time, I'm not going to lie, y'all, I didn't really like the name. So I wanted to name her Layla and make Nirvana her middle name. So I remember I told my family about, how he wants to name her Nirvana or whatever, and I wanted to name her Layla. So my family was like, yeah, we like the name Layla. We feel like this better suited and stuff. And, the name just flows nicely when, the first name is Layla. So here we go again with this dude playing the victim and starts crying and stuff. And like, I can't believe that you would let these people, let them, they're not even her father. They're not even, I've been said, I really want to be a father. I really want to do this and that and the third. And I want to name her Nirvana. So what do I do, y'all, to appease him and to please him? I decided to name my daughter Nirvana because this is what he wanted. This is our first child. He really claimed that he really, really wanted to be a girl dad so bad. He wanted to be a father, period. So I'm like, you know what? You win. You win. Our daughter, her name's Nirvana. So y'all, I'm not gonna lie, I had a high risk pregnancy. Like I almost went to the upper room, if you understand what I'm saying, because I had preeclampsia. And unfortunately, due to me having preeclampsia, I had to give birth to our daughter sooner than the 40 weeks. So next thing you know, I go in for my 37-week appointment and they're telling me like, yeah, tomorrow we give birth, we're going to induce you for, labor. And I'm like, holy shit, it's getting real. I'm scared, y'all. I'm scared. So we go in and, they give me the pills and all the stuff, they doing all types of stuff. They shoving catheters in me, just all types of traumatizing stuff. 0 out of 10, I would give, childbirthing experience because it was just so traumatic for me, y'all. So the whole time, now let me go back. So by this time, my soon-to-be ex-husband, I'm already, on disability from the military and stuff because the military didn't mess me up pretty good, They worked the hell out of me, but it's cool because I'm getting disability to this day. So my soon-to-be ex-husband at the time, when I was telling him, you need to stay in for your full contract so that you can get your GI benefits, the bills, the GI bills so that you can go to school. They'll pay you to go to school. And also like keep going to sick call and claiming stuff like saying that your knees, your back, everything like that hurts, right? Right. So with that said, he didn't do any of that shit. So after he got out, he didn't even want to go and claim any of his disabilities that he had with the VA. I made him do that. I made him go. I even when we went, I even did all the talking for him to let them know what he's claiming, what he needed, to be seen for and everything like that, to build his case. So after months of doing all that, we were just waiting for him to see his proposed disability rating and to see if he was going to get, back his back pay. So like this whole entire time that I was pregnant, it was really like literally a struggle, mainly, for the both of us or whatever, but mainly for me because I'm carrying the child and I got anxiety. I'm like, I don't know what's going on with our finances. I don't know how we're going to get out of California because we're both from the East Coast. I'm from Philly and he's from Maryland. So I'm like, I don't know, how we going to get back home because we going based off of one income right now because he's not working and I'm disability can only do so much, So y'all, while I'm giving birth, while I'm on the damn, bed or whatever, about to give birth, he gets a notification from the VA saying that he got 90%. Yay! He got 90%, y'all. It was such like we both, started crying in the moment because like, and it kind of makes me, it kind of gets me a little emotional right now because like being under all of that stress, y'all. Let me get myself together. Being under all of that stress, y'all, it really, especially while you're pregnant, it really just does something to you. Like having anxiety and all that stuff or whatever, like it's really, it's not good. So when he found out that he was getting 100% and they back paid him all the way from, because when you first get out, you only got 1 year to claim your disabilities and then they'll pay you back pay for that whole entire year. So he got the back pay, y'all. They gave him $26,000 and on top of that, his monthly money every single month. So I was happy. I'm like, yes, like finally, I'm going to have some help. Like it's not all on me. Like I can finally like breathe a little bit because I've been really stressed out. But then, y'all, that heart warming moment or whatever didn't last long because when I had my daughter, she came out premature. Like when she was born, she was only weighing 4 pounds and 13 ounces. And at the time, they had to come and take her. Y'all, they had to come and take my baby away from me. And it was so sad. I'm sorry. I just gave birth to this like child. I've been playing with her. She's been doing the flips and all types of somersaults in my belly and stuff. And right when I'm trying to like spend some time with her because she been inside of me, I want to hold my baby. And they had to take her away. They took her to I think like the hospital in San Bernardino or whatever. And yeah, like they had to take her. Like the helicopter came and took her 3 hours away from us. And then the crazy part is, since I had preeclampsia, I could not go nowhere. I could not leave. And then so I was calling the damn NICU every single day, every hour of the day, like checking on my baby to see how she's doing because I didn't really even get to spend any time with her. And then they're like guilting me, like, why isn't one of you here? Where y'all at? And this, that, and the third. And if you're in the hospital, then why can't your husband, why can't her father come? And then it's pissing me off because he can't come because the bitch can't drive. video by saying how I was calling the NICU every single hour, every single day, asking them how my baby is doing, and they were asking me like, why aren't one of y'all here, and basically like shaming me, and basically calling me a bad mother because I had preeclampsia and I was still in the hospital, and her father couldn't come because the bitch can't drive. So since I couldn't go nowhere, y'all, goodness, only moms would know. I could not go nowhere, y'all. So I was just crying I was crying so much that I had the damn doctors and the nurses crying because I just kept telling them like, please let me out of the hospital. Like, I gotta go be with my baby because I don't trust them damn NICUs and stuff. Like, I don't trust them at all, y'all. First of all, I don't trust nobody around my child. Period. I don't trust nobody. I want her with me. She needs to be with me. But unfortunately, because her birth weight was so low and she couldn't regulate her own body temperature, they had to take her to the NICU. And unfortunately, the San Bernardino hospital, that was the nearest NICU that they had. So while I'm in the hospital crying and stuff, like my ex-husband, he's sitting in the, bed. He over here ordering new phones and shit. Like, tell me, yeah, you want a new phone and this, that, and the third as a push gift. And I'm just like, bitch, I'm not thinking about none of that shit. I'm just thinking about like how I'm trying to get out of this hospital. I'm trying to get my blood pressure down so that they will let me out of the hospital. So at this point, it's day 3 in the hospital. I didn't, like, before my daughter left and they sent her to the NICU, I was, lucky enough to have milk flowing. So I was just like basically pumping out as much like colostrum or as much milk as I can get. But she ran through it all because it just wasn't enough. So every time I called, they were just telling me like, yeah, she's not eating. We're giving her the formula. Do you have any more milk left? Like, somebody needs to get down here ASAP. So I'm still crying and crying and crying. Like, y'all, can y'all please let me out of the hospital? So since I'm doing so much crying, next thing you know, I hear my soon-to-be ex-husband telling me like, oh, like trying to make a joke out of the situation. But I'm like, bitch, I'm not joking. Like, this is not a joking matter. He's over here telling me like, you can't, there's no more crying. You can't cry no more. You ran out of tier tickets. There's no more crying. You need to stop crying. And I'm like over here, like literally like trying not to cry because my baby, your baby, is somewhere 3 hours away. And we don't know what's going on with her. We don't know if they're taking care of her properly. We don't know shit. I need to get over there. So that's why I'm crying. Like, bitch, stop telling me to stop fucking crying. So at some point, whatever, the doctors, they come in there and they like, yeah, we know that you want to be with your daughter really bad. So even though we don't recommend you leaving the hospital or whatever, we're going to go in here and discharge you so you could be with your baby. And, once you get over there, have them check your blood pressure, everything like that. And, and be admitted into the hospital there, or just to make sure that, you're safe. You're in good standing. So I'm like, all right, bet. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, God. Thank you for the universe. Like, thank you so much because I really want to get to my baby. So y'all, I'm 3 days postpartum or whatever, and I had to drive 3 hours to San Bernardino while my soon-to-be ex-husband was, buying damn cell phones and all types of shit and being passenger prince, on the passenger side. So then we finally make it to San Bernardino or whatever, and then we go and see the baby. So tell me why, y'all, my daughter, we go in there, she got a bruise in the middle of her forehead. She got a bruise on the side, on her face and shit. Then we go and, change her diaper or whatever. And mind you, before we even get to the diaper part, I'm so weak because I'm still supposed to be in the hospital. So the nurse there or whatever, she had like an attitude or something because she just like, where have y'all been? This and the third. I guess she think that we crackheads or something like that because, we weren't able to, well, I wasn't able to, be there. So she asked us for help. She like, yeah, do you guys know how to change a diaper? So my soon-to-be ex-husband going to say, yeah, I know how to change a diaper, but she needs to learn so she can change her. At this point, I don't know if I already mentioned this, but I can barely fucking stand. And you gonna make me change the fucking, pamper or whatever because you're saying that I need to learn. But whatever. I'm like, I care. I'm just, at this point, I'm not even thinking about him. I'm just thinking about how I'm just so blessed and so, like, just happy to be in the presence of my daughter. And I can finally, like, take her home with me. So then while I'm changing my daughter, I noticed that she got a diaper rash. So what that tell you? That tell you that these bitches ain't even been changing my damn daughter's diapers the whole entire time while she's in the NICU. So I'm just like, you know what? Y'all, I used to be a reform crash out. I used to crash out. I used to be fighting bitches. I'm trying to tell y'all, but I'm not trying to live that life no more. And I feel like God really be testing me sometimes, y'all, because in that type of situation, I really wanted to go off and smack the shit out of the fucking nurse and ask her, why the fuck my daughter got all these damn bruises and shit on her face, and why the fuck she got a damn diaper rash and shit like that? What the fuck are y'all doing in here? What are y'all doing? But I'm just like, you know what, Naya? Woosah. Calm down. Because she's not going to be in here too much longer. You're going to be able to take her home. So then when we there, I'm thinking that we're going to be able to take her home that same day. Tell me why the nurse telling me, oh, we think that she got jaundice. Like, bitch, she don't got fucking jaundice. She just light skinned. Do I look like I got motherfucking jaundice? No. Then come to find out, my daughter never even had fucking jaundice in the first place. So you just wanted to keep her there for no fucking reason at all. You just didn't want us to take her back home with us. So every time when it was time to take her for her to go home or whatever, they were telling, like, the nurse was just like, oh, well, they got to do the car seat check, which I understand. You got to do certain checks and all this stuff. But they just kept trying to keep her there. So for 2 weeks, we had to stay in San Bernardino. So this is where I start, getting pissed off, right? So my soon-to-be ex-husband or whatever, like he the one that just got the 26,000. So I'm like, we gotta stay here. He complaining like, oh, these hotels, they taking a lot of my money and this, that, and the third, and blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like, bitch, shut up, because this is your fucking child. We're here to see the child that you begged to have, the child that you begged to name, the child that you just really wanted to be a father for so desperately. We're here for that child. Then I'm telling him, God gave you that money because he knew we was going to need it for this moment right now. He knew it. We didn't have the money before, but he gave you that 26,000 so you can at least be able to buy a damn, a hotel stay for 2 weeks. And y'all, the hotel didn't even cost that much money. I think it was like maybe $50 a day. $50 a fucking day. And I ain't good at no motherfucking math. How much? 7 times 5? That's what? That's 35. Then times, so what? That's 350. Then times, that by 2. That's what? The 350. So that's 700. Yeah, $700 for 2 weeks. That you can take $700 out of that whole 26,000 that you got. You over here buying cell phones and shit, buying a new fucking laptop and all this stuff. But then when it comes to spending time with your daughter that you have not seen and spent time with for 3 whole fucking days. Now you're talking about, it's expensive and this, that, and the third, but yeah, you just bought a laptop for $2,000. Shut your fucking mouth. Okay, so now he paid for the hotel and all that stuff. So now at this point, we back in the NICU and we're seeing the baby. So I don't know if I said this in the last video or whatever, but the nurse, she didn't like us because she thought we was crackheads. So once she found out that we was, military and shit, that's when she started trying to change her whole entire tune, talking about oh yeah, you guys are in the military. I had a great uncle that also served in the military as well. And I'm like, bitch, I don't give a fuck. Like, I really don't care. Why does my daughter have a diaper rash? And why she got all these bruises and shit like that on her face? Sorry, y'all. Dang. So with that being said, I'm just like over the whole situation and stuff. Like, I'm not trying to cause no, I'm not trying to get hostile in there, because at the end of the day, I want to take my baby home, and I'm not trying to do nothing that's going to, hold that process up, because they already trying to keep her for unnecessary BS, basically. So I know in the last video that I stated that when I was in the hospital, the doctors told me when I get to San Bernardino to self-admit myself into the hospital because I still had preeclampsia and I still had high blood pressure. So I remember when we first got to the NICU, we had some newborn clothes, but our daughter was born premature, so we had to go and get some preemie clothes from Walmart. So while I was in Walmart, y'all, while me and my soon-to-be ex-husband was in Walmart, I remember seeing like the little blood pressure cuff thing that they have over in the pharmacy section, and I was just like, yeah, I should really check my blood pressure, because I remember feeling dizzy all the time. Like every time we would go walking and stuff, like I was still like, walking around, but I didn't feel, at my full, capacity, basically. So with that being said, I checked my blood pressure, y'all. My blood pressure was 175, and I'm not a doctor, but the top number was 175. That stuff was high as I have never seen. Like I was like, whoa, like that's crazy. So after let me rewind back. So when we first got to the NICU, the nurse who thought we was crackheads, she said to us like, yeah, so since y'all here or whatever, can one of y'all change the diaper, or do y'all know how to change the diaper, because we're both first-time parents. So my soon-to-be ex-husband was like, yeah, I already know how to change the diaper. So since you would think that since he knows that I'm already feeling weak, and then I just had to drive 3 hours to get us there to the NICU or whatever, you would think that he would change the diaper because he already knows how to change the diaper, right? No. So tell me why this ninja gonna tell the nurse or whatever, like, yeah, I already know how to change the diaper, so she can change it. She needs to learn. So y'all, mind y'all, at this time, I'm already I'm just so grateful to God that like I'm back, I'm reunited with my daughter. So that did, tick me off or whatever, but I just kind of ignored that whole thing because I was just so, so just happy and thankful to be in the presence of my child. So mind y'all, every time we would come, like, because we would we would come there, stay for an hour or so I can pump and stuff and feed the baby, and then after that we would burp her, do everything we needed to do, and then we would leave, go get some food, and then we would come right back, and then it would be the same thing. We would, leave, go, do whatever it is that we need to do, shower and all of that stuff or whatever, and then we would come right back, and then throughout the night we would stay in a hotel and stuff, and then every single day we would just do the same thing over and over again. So at some point, I just kept feeling like dizzy, weak, all of the above. And I kept having it in the back of my mind, like, you got to go to the doctors. You have to, go and make sure that your blood pressure is good while you're here. You need to stop putting that off. So then at one point I was telling my soon-to-be ex-husband, like, yeah, I still need to go and stuff like that, but I'm kind of scared that they, that they're going to admit me into the hospital. So after I tell him that, he's like, oh, I think that you're fine, and this, that, and the third, I think you're fine, and whatever. So I ended up, telling him like, no, I'm gonna just go because they told me I need to go. Like, it's really important that I need to go and make sure everything's okay. And so I did. Y'all, tell me why when I went to the hospital and stuff, They had to emergency admit me into the hospital because when they checked my blood pressure, it was 165 over. I don't know because I'm not a doctor. I don't remember the bottom number, but it was like astronomically like high. Like it was insanely high, y'all. All the nurses stopped what they was doing to come and tend to me and help me and like basically put me on magnesium. If anybody had preeclampsia before, you familiar with being on magnesium, but they had to hurry up and hook me up to machines, put an IV in me, do all this stuff. Like they basically like I was about to go at any given moment. So I'm just so glad that I went when I did because who knows, you know what I'm saying, what would have happened to me. So the whole time while I was in the hospital, whatever, I can't, you know what I'm saying, drive or do nothing, whatever, because I'm admitted into the hospital, right? Right. So then while I'm in hospital, it's all basically all the responsibility of taking care of the baby and stuff is left to my soon to be ex-husband. Okay. Keep this in mind. So while I'm in the hospital, I'm talking to him on the phone and stuff, and he just kind of like just keep on complaining, y'all. Just keep complaining. He gonna have the nerve to say, "Oh, I'm just so tired because I have to walk and I have to walk back and forth from the hotel and this, that, and the third and blah blah blah. I'm not gonna go see the baby this, you know what I'm saying, this time. I'm gonna see her later, and so I'm just not gonna show up because I'm just so tired of walking." So mind y'all, we found a hotel that was super duper close to the hospital. Like the hotel was so close to the hospital, it was 3 minutes driving and 10 minutes on foot. That's how close we were to the hospital. So he just kept on complaining and stuff, and I'm just over here like thinking to myself like, I'm not gonna let him stress me out because at the end of the day, when you got high, BP or whatever, then you get, you know what I'm saying, agitated and all that stuff, what your BP gonna do? It's gonna go up. So the whole time while I'm in the hospital, I'm just like, you know what? Now you focus on yourself, focus on getting your BP down, you know what I'm saying, and just focus on getting out the hospital and leaving and going home with your baby. So yeah, so then I think I had to stay in there for like maybe 2 to 3 days. And so when I was getting out, at the same time, it was good timing because my daughter was getting out the hospital at the same time. So we was both, you know what I'm saying, leaving. So I'm gonna speed this up because I don't know how this, you know what I'm saying, shit didn't happen. So when we was, you know what I'm saying, getting out the hospital and stuff like that, when I went to the NICU part, then next thing you know, my soon to be ex-husband is beefing with one of the nurses and stuff. So and then try to wanted me to fight her. And I'm like, bro, I'm not, you know what I'm saying, about to fight her and stuff. Like at the end of the day, we trying to leave and take the baby home. Why the hell would I start, you know what I'm saying, fighting with the nurses stuff just because you don't like her? What? Like, hush. So y'all, we ended up leaving and stuff after we had all the checks and stuff done. And then once we ended up leaving, I started driving. And that's when, while I started driving, y'all, next thing you know, I started getting dizzy, like super duper dizzy. Like it felt like I was on like a roller coaster ride or something like that. And while I was driving with the baby in the car and, but who cares about my ex-husband? But yeah, basically with the baby in the car. And it was just a very scary moment for me. And then on top of that, driving from San Bernardino to Fort Irwin, that's like a 2.5. I started getting dizzy as shit while I'm driving and stuff. Like it's just, y'all, if you know how when you spin real fast or whatever, and then you stop and everything just fucking... that's literally what happened to me while I was driving. And I had the baby in the car with me. And then on top of that, I am the only person that can get us back to Fort Irwin at this point. So I had to pull over and shit because, I just could not drive. Like, I just could not drive. So it's like you ever get the bubble guts or something like that, and then like you get that like, oh damn, I gotta poop right now feeling, and then it'd be like, all right, it's going away, and then out of nowhere come back. That's what was happening to me while I was driving, and the shit would just spin at random. But luckily we were almost to the destination. So we made a stop or whatever. I gathered, you know what I'm saying, got myself together. I said a prayer and everything because that bitch couldn't help me. And so we were able to get back to Fort Irwin. But so I stopped at a Walgreens because I had to take blood pressure medication and stuff because of my blood pressure was so high at the time due to me having preeclampsia. So when we stopped, everything was cool. I got a little reset and stuff like that. And then we finally get back to the house. So fast forward, everything for like, I want to say the first 4 months of, my daughter being born and stuff, was, despite that whole, like the childbirthing experience and the NICU experience, all of that shit, everything was going good. My daughter was gaining weight. Like she was gaining so much weight, y'all. She was eating up she was drinking all the milk. She was just, my baby, she was just drinking milk. Yeah. So yeah, and then he was being a decent father. Like he was doing what he was supposed to be doing, basically. So if I needed to run errands and stuff, he didn't have a problem with watching the baby. Like they would spend time together. Like in the beginning, he really enjoyed being a father. Everything was good. He loved our daughter. So here, now mind y'all, during this whole entire time, I got beef with my ex-best friend, okay? So I'm still dealing with all of that drama and shit, which I'm going to make a story time about that, because that story, y'all, is crazy. I don't know what, that story is crazier than this story. But anywho, so I'm still going through all of this drama with my ex-best friend because we're all living under one roof. So I'm going through all of this shit with him, and it's just crazy. So I told my now husband or whatever, soon to be ex-husband, I told him I came up with a plan because I was just like, I had already, so I'm gonna tell like, all right, so quick side note, right? So anybody that been in the military before, y'all already know that it's a lot of people that have contract marriages. So what is a contract marriage? A contract marriage is when two people in the military, or it could be like somebody trying to get like citizenship or something like that. I don't know, but I'm gonna just only speak for the military, right? So like 2 people in the military they want to get extra money or something. It depends on if both people are service members. So if both people are service members, both of them get paid extra money to be married. So, but if one person is not a service member, because at the time I was a veteran, I wasn't in the military anymore. So my ex-best friend, he was in the military at the time, so he was getting paid extra money for me being married to him. So and then also we had a house and stuff like that. So we had a contract marriage at the time. So now back to me and my now ex-husband. So yeah, so I came up with a plan that I'm going to divorce my my ex-best friend or whatever. And then so I told my now soon-to-be ex-husband to go back home and set up shop. Okay, set up shop for when you know what I'm saying, we ready to leave, because I'm there to, you know what I'm saying, handle my business, you know what I'm saying, like pay some debt off and stuff, and I'm living there rent free. Like I wasn't paying no bills other than like my car note and like little credit card debt and stuff, because the whole point of me moving out there was so that I can tackle all of my debt. So with that being said, now I gotta backtrack some more. So when me and my soon-to-be ex-husband was talking, he was telling me, because I was just like, should we move to Maryland or should we move to Pennsylvania? Should we move to Philly, or you know what I'm saying, where we moving to? So he basically told me like, yeah, we should move to Maryland. It's such a beautiful place. It's a family-oriented place. It's just so lovely. Laurel is just the greatest place, you know what I'm saying, on the earth. He didn't say that, but that's how he was talking it up, like just talking it up. So then he also was talking about how his family, because this was me and him, our first child. So, but in his family, our daughter is the only child in the family. So she's the first grandchild. She's the first child, period, in their family. And then in my family, it's like plenty of children. Like my daughter, she got like a whole bunch of cousins. She got like, I can't even count so many cousins. So he just basically told me like, yeah, I want to move to Maryland because my family, this is the first, you know what I'm saying, baby, first grandchild, everything. And my mom and my family are really excited because they want to see the baby. Not to mention, he keeps telling me about how it's such a pleasant, you know what I'm saying, place, and there's plenty of, you know what I'm saying, places for us to go out on dates and all this stuff, because at this point, we ain't been out on no dates or nothing like that, because at that point, he wasn't in the military anymore, and then, yeah, we just didn't go out on dates and stuff, so I'm just like, oh shit, we about to go on some dates again, like, you know how it was in the beginning or whatever, like, you know, it's a family-oriented place. Then he was telling me, like, yeah, and my family are going to help us, so if we want to go out and do stuff, my mom, my sister, you know, my family will watch the baby. So I'm like, shit, I'm sold. They want to be, you know what I'm saying, like a part of our daughter's life and shit. They want to help us out with the baby. It's a great place for us to raise our, you know what I'm saying, our, you know, have a family together and stuff. I'm sold. Let's move there. So since he's already from, you know what I'm saying, Maryland or whatever, I'm like, and we also talked about this too, because he said that he had a career job before he joined the Marine Corps. So I'm like, oh, okay, cool. So he basically said that he didn't have no problem with getting that job back once he was to, you know, get out of the military. So I'm like, great. So that's when I came up with the plan, like, all right, so you finna go back, you finna move back to Maryland, you finna get, you know what I'm saying, a job, you finna get the apartment, you know what I'm saying, get everything going, so that when me and the baby finally come, you know what I'm saying, back or whatever, we have somewhere to come to. We have a home already established. So by that time or whatever, so he left, and he ended up going back to Maryland and stuff, and I was still in California, with the baby the whole time that he was, you know, in Maryland. So while I'm there, I'm still going through, like, you know what I'm saying, beefing and stuff, but I was able to swindle something because the relationship between me and my ex-best friend or whatever was so toxic or whatever, like, I was able to get him put out the house and stuff like that. But like I said, y'all, please stay tuned, follow me, because that story is fucking crazy. It's crazy. But back to this. So yeah, so I decided I was lonely, and then on top of that, being with the baby and stuff, like, I wasn't really getting no break because my baby, she was a Velcro baby, so every time I would put her down, she would start crying and all this stuff or whatever, you know, so I was just like, you know, I want some help, like, I'm ready to come home a little bit earlier. So y'all, that's what I did. So when I told him that I was coming home earlier, mind y'all, oh shit, let me tell y'all this. So mind y'all, while he's in Maryland or whatever, he's staying with his brother, his stepbrother. And while he's doing that, he's telling me about how he's spending all this money. And he's like, yeah, we've been going fishing. We've been doing, look at the fish that I caught. Nah, look at the fish. All right. So he was calling me, showing me these little ass fish. Oh my gosh. All right, hold on. All right, so he was calling me, showing me these little ass fucking fish and shit. And y'all, I was so fucking annoyed, because this nigga would call me all fucking day long and shit. I'm like, yeah, babe, I just ordered these fishing rods and shit like that. I just ordered this and that and the third and blah, blah, blah. And yeah, we going fishing. And yeah, I've been going fishing with the boys. We've been going fishing. So me, I'm like, yeah, I guess I'm a pick-me. Well, I was a pick-me. I ain't no fucking pick-me no more. But y'all, I was being so supportive and shit, because all right, so I gotta tell y'all this quick story, right? So when we first met each other, he was telling me about how he was in his last relationship with this other girl, and she cheated on him. Now, in the beginning, I was just like, oh, why would she do that? And this, that, and the third, like, he's such a great guy. But now I know why she was cheating on the bitch. But anywho, so in the beginning, he was talking about how they was in a long distance relationship because she lived in Maryland, or she was from Jamaica or something, because he's my now soon-to-be ex-husband is, Jamaican, or he's a knockoff Jamaican, because he came here when he was like fucking 8 years old, and the bitch don't even know how to speak patois correctly. But his mother is Jamaican, his stepbrother is Jamaican, like the whole rest of the family is Jamaican, and they actually have legitimate accents, but his is very forced. But let me tell you this quick story. So when he was with this other girl or whatever, and she cheated on him. The dude that she was cheating on him with had sent him pictures, the same nudes and the same videos of her doing stuff to herself. He sent the dude got in contact with my now ex-husband or whatever, and was showing him the same videos and stuff like that or whatever that the girl was sending to my now ex-husband. He found out that she was cheating on him in their long distance relationship. But anywho, I mentioned that because he was telling me about how, oh yeah, she wasn't supportive. I would talk to her all the time, and she was just basically like, she was a very negative person, and she just wasn't really supportive. And yeah, like anytime I would talk to her about like anything that's going on with me, like she basically was telling me that I was complaining too much. And I understood why she said that, because the nigga was complaining a whole fucking bunch to me. But since he was going through a vulnerable time when I first met him or whatever due to the military, which I understood, and I told y'all that earlier in the video because I went through something similar as well, I was trying my best to be supportive. So back to the story. So when he was telling me about, oh yeah, I caught these fish, babe, I caught these fish, these little ass fucking fish. And then I was just like, oh yeah, that's great or whatever, that's wonderful. Did you get a job? So yeah, I'm like, you over here going fishing with the boys and you telling me all this shit, whatever, and you buying, you know what I'm saying, using that $26,000 that I helped you get, that I basically got for you. Did you get a fucking job though? Did you do any other things on the to-do list? Did you get a job? Did you start looking at apartments and stuff? Like, what are you doing besides, you know what I'm saying, being on your stepbrother's couch and shit and going fucking fishing and showing me these dumbass fish? So then next thing you know, he would be like, oh, like, why are you, I'm going to get a job. I'm going to get a job. Like, he getting annoyed with me because I'm asking him, is he getting a job? Because, nigga, we, like, you know what I'm saying, we supposed to be moving to Maryland and getting a place, like, you know what I'm saying, if you ain't got no job and you ain't got no fucking, you know what I'm saying, started looking at apartments and stuff like that, we need somewhere to, when we leaving from fucking, fucking California and shit, I need to put an address, you know what I'm saying, in for the destination where we're going to be arriving to. So, what are you doing? So, I guess he was getting annoyed with me, which I don't give a fuck about. It is what it is. So then, yeah, like he just kept continuing telling me about, you know, him going fishing and all that shit or whatever. So yeah, y'all, so he ends up getting a job at this place that he used to work at. It was like a nursing home or something like that. And apparently he was working at the nursing home as a maintenance man, because apparently he knows how to fix shit, which he really don't. He don't know how to fix shit, but he was a maintenance man. So then this nigga it's like every time when like a problem would be solved, like before he was complaining about the military, right? And I'm just thinking like, all right, so once he gets out of that situation, he's gonna stop complaining. Every time he get out of one situation where he's complaining about something, he bring up a new topic that he going to complain about day in and day out, y'all. Day in and day out. He will bring up a new fucking, oh gosh. So when he got to the job or whatever, right? He got the job. They started him out working, like, you know what I'm saying, getting $20 an hour. Now, mind you, he's getting that money. So when you're on VA disability, you're allowed to work and still get your disability at the same time. So, you know what I'm saying, which is great. So apparently he gets his job working at his old job or whatever that he had before he joined the military. So while he was working there, it's this, I guess the maintenance director or whatever was this older white guy, and he just had a problem with this man. So he said that when he started working his job or whatever, the maintenance man was basically like micromanaging him, and then like, you know, like basically it was a lot of tension on the job or whatever, you know, just like a whole bunch of stuff. And apparently the dude, he was a weirdo and shit, but he just kept complaining about this dude every fucking day. Like he was just complaining so much, y'all, just so much. So then, I guess something, I don't know what happened exactly or whatever, but, he was able to get the maintenance man fired. Like, well, I guess the maintenance man was under investigation and he ended up quitting because, he didn't, I guess he just ended up quitting because the man was about to retire anyway. So he just ended up like saying, fuck this job. I'm, you know, finna do whatever it is that I want to do. With that being said, they promoted my soon-to-be ex-husband to maintenance director. So he went from having a $20 an hour job. The man who was, you know what I'm saying, he was complaining to me about every single day, y'all, every single day from sun up to sundown, just complaining about this man. He's gone now. And they gave him a raise. They gave him a raise from $20 an hour to 65 to, well, it started off at 50,000, but some other shit happened and they was trying to raise his money or whatever, his salary. He was getting paid a salary job. So they started him out at 50,000 and was trying to give him a raise to 65 to $70,000. But before I get into that story, I got to tell y'all about how I had to move back to Maryland. So at this time, I'm still in Maryland or whatever, and I'm trying to, you know what I'm saying, focus on like, damn, how am I going to get out of Maryland? You know what I'm saying, all this stuff. So I will say this, y'all, he did give me like, you know what I'm saying, majority of the money to move because it costs like to move have movers to come to my house and gather all of my things and to move it, ship it back to Maryland or whatever. I think it cost me like $2,000. I think it was like, no. It was $2,000. So I think I paid a $600 deposit and he paid the rest of the money. So, with that said, I originally was trying to have my car shipped back so that me and the baby could hop on a flight and go to Maryland. But I paid the guy to ship my car and stuff, and they weren't showing. And I paid for the plane ticket too, and they just wasn't showing up on time. So all the movers was there to get my household goods and all that stuff or whatever. And then I paid for the plane ticket, but the guy who was supposed to pick up my car on that day fucking just decided that he didn't decide. He just kept telling me like, oh yeah, I can't come. Can we do it next week and stuff? And I'm like, no, nigga, I need you to come and pick up my car now. Like I already paid you, and if you're not going to pick up my car now, I need my motherfucking money back. I was in California and I was trying to get my car shipped along with my furniture and everything back to Maryland. And the guy who I paid to ship my car back to ship my car to Maryland, he kept trying to reschedule on me, and I'm like, I can't stay in an empty house with no furniture and my daughter and all that stuff. Like, I just can't. So yeah. So the man ended up giving me my money back. At first, y'all, he was not trying to give me my money back. I had to cuss his ass out like, no, because I didn't sign nothing. I didn't do where I signed anything at, huh? Yeah, okay, so I gave you the deposit and everything like that. And he was just like, you know what? I'm gonna give you your money back. Like, yes, run me my money. So right then and there, I'm like, I really wanted to catch a flight, because who wants to drive all the way from California to Maryland with a baby? Who wants to do that? Nobody. But unfortunately, since I wasn't able to, he wasn't able to move my car, like take my car in time, I had no choice. So therefore, I, ended up having to drive back home with the baby. So at this point, our daughter is like, I think she's maybe like 5. No, she got to be like almost 9 months old. So she's almost 9 months. And I'm just like, bro, how am I going to drive back all the way back? And she's a Velcro baby, y'all. She's a Velcro baby. So I'm just thinking to myself like, damn, I really need some help. I'm going to need help. So with that being said, who did I call? I called my soon-to-be ex-husband, and I tell him like, hey, they're not able to take the car and stuff, because he did, send me the money for that as well. But I told him that they're not able to take the car, so I don't know what to do. Like, I have to drive back. That's literally the only option. So at this point, he was able to land the job. He was able to go back to his old job, which I was telling y'all earlier. But yeah, so he was able to get his job or whatever. But he was telling me that, because I asked him, I was like, yeah, can you come out here and like, just basically, because y'all know that he can't drive, y'all. So all I was asking him to do is like, I needed him to help me, like not help me drive, but like just be in the car with me in case the baby start crying, or she needs to be changed, or she needs to be fed, anything that she needs or whatever. Just be here so that, like we don't got to pull over and stuff like that. Like we could just continue keep driving. So here we go, y'all, with excuses. So this man started telling me like, oh, I just got this job and I can't, they're not going to let me leave and this, that, and the third. And I just, I just started working. So I tell him like, you had that job before. You already you have a relationship with these people because you worked at this job for some years. So I'm pretty sure that if you told them, yeah, you just moved back to Maryland because you got out of the military and you have a wife and child that's still in Maryland that you need to go and bring them here, I'm pretty sure that they would have been able to be like, okay, yeah, go, you know what I'm saying, dude, go on ahead and go get your wife and your child, and then return back to work when you're able to. So he's telling me that that's non-negotiable. He's not able to because he don't want to get fired. And then next thing you know, he starts telling me like, oh, well, why don't you just get your sister or your mom or your brother and stuff like that. So literally, y'all, I asked everybody in my family. Everybody was like, I can't do it because they have their own lives. Like my sister, she got 3 kids. She's married and she has a job. She's a registered nurse. So she's not, going to be an option. Then I have another sister. She has 2 kids. She works full time. She's not an option. My mom, on the other hand, she could have came out there. She could have came, but whatever. Then I have a brother but he's also, at the time, he was a full-time student. I think that he was he was going to Berkeley. So he was going to school in San Francisco. I think that's what Berkeley is. But anywho, so all of these people could not go. And everybody that was asking, they were like, well, why don't you just ask your husband, why don't you just ask him to come out? And then everybody was just like, I was telling them, oh, he claimed that he can't come because he just got this new job and he doesn't want to get fired or some bullshit, whatever. And it was just like, I'm not believing it. So at this point or whatever, like, I'm like, hey, I'm trying to get out of California as soon as possible. So everybody's telling me that they can't come because obviously for obvious reasons, they have their own lives and children and all types of stuff. So like they just can't come. But he could have came. Like, I'm not trying to hear nothing that nobody say. Like, he could have came. And everybody else in my family, of course, and other people that I've told the story to also agreed that he could have came out there. So I ended up having to drive all the way from California to Maryland by myself with the baby. Y'all, it took me 3 days to drive back. I barely made any stops. I didn't make no stops unless I had to. And then the whole time that I was driving, y'all, imagine driving more than 24 hours with a baby who's crying because they desperately want you to hold them. That's crazy. So I got family in Kansas or whatever. So I ended up stopping there and getting a few hours of sleep. And then I got right back on the road and went straight to Maryland. So when I get to Maryland or whatever, my soon-to-be ex-husband, he's like trying to introduce me to all these people and stuff, like I guess like trying to show me off because I'm not hey y'all, I'm a humble lady, okay? I really am. So I would never ever say like I'm the most beautiful woman in the world or anything like that, because I'm just going to be real. I know I'm not. There's women out there that look way better than me. So I'm just a very humble lady. I really am. But on that note, he wanted to show me off because he feels like I look better than his friends, girlfriends, and baby moms and all that stuff or whatever. So he wants to introduce me to these people after I just drove 3 hours. I don't want to be introduced to nobody. I want to get somewhere, lay down, get some food in my stomach, and just chill and relax. That's all I want. That's it. So when I first meet, I'm telling him like, yo, I don't want to meet these fucking people, yo. I don't want to meet these people. But me trying to be a supportive wife and trying to be a good wife and all this stuff, I was like, you know what? If these people are important to you, then I'll talk to them. So he introduces me to one of the dudes or whatever, his baby mom, and the girl did not like me, y'all. She did not like. She didn't even like ask me what my name is or nothing like that. Like she just, I guess, saw the way how his her baby dad or whoever was looking at me and stuff. I don't know, like don't shoot the messenger. But she just was not feeling me from the rip, and I was trying to make conversation with her because I'm a very nice girl, y'all. I am a girl's girl, so I'm trying to talk to her, like and introduce myself and let her know like I'm not like a stuck up person or anything like that. Like I'm a really like nice person. I'm a friendly, easygoing, what I'm saying, like woman. She was like, nah, I'm not trying to. And then not to mention, y'all, I don't got nothing against people who, do this. Me personally, I don't, like, I just would not feel comfortable or anything like that. Like, smoking, what I'm saying, like the reefer or gardening and stuff like that in front of children. That's just me though. I don't know what, what I'm saying, other people be doing at home and stuff like that. But me personally, I don't like that type of stuff. But yeah, so that's just the type of person that, she is. They like to do a lot of drinking, they like to do a lot of smoking, and they don't care about whose children is around. Me, on the other hand, I don't get down like that, but to each his own. I'm just so happy that I'm back, in Maryland at this point. So, I'm back. I got help now from my family. He told me all these great things about Maryland. We finna go on, do all this stuff where we finna explore as a family. Everything's gonna get better, right? Right. He introduced me to his friend's baby mom and some, his friend, his stepbrother, and like basically that's pretty much it that he introduced me to when I first got there, and I didn't want to. So here's where we start with the bullshit, y'all. Here's where we start with the bullshit, okay? Let me tell y'all this. All right. So remember that $26,000 that I helped him get from the VA because I took him to claim all his disabilities with the VA? Remember that? Yeah. So tell me why, y'all. It's only been 3 months, and he told me that he basically ran through that whole thing, whole $26,000 that he had, and he's basically telling me he don't got no more money left. So after I get to Maryland, right, y'all? So I get to the brother's house or whatever, and I think that he was paying for a hotel for us to stay in because at the time he was staying on his stepbrother's couch. So I remember we stay at a hotel and stuff, and like for the first couple of days, and then afterwards I went to Philly so that I can show off the baby and stuff to my family. But before I went there, we were talking, spending time with each other. Everything was cool at first. So at this point, we were still like, I guess the apartment that we had applied for was not ready yet. So I drove back home in July. And they were telling us that the apartment wasn't going to be ready until September. So I had to go back. I had to stay with my family until the apartment was ready and, stuff like that. But in the meantime, I was coming back and forth from Philly to Maryland so that, I could spend time with my husband. He could spend time with the baby. Like we can all spend time together. So I remember but I wasn't coming up every single day, y'all. It was maybe every other weekend or something like that. Right. So mind you, y'all, this man is getting, so let me go back for anybody who hasn't watched the video, prior to this. So he got the $26,000 when our daughter was first born. So mind you, our daughter is 9 months at this time. But the way how VA disability works, like when you get that back pay, you get that lump sum of money, and then they pay you your disability rating every single month, which is like a couple thousand. He got that lump sum money, and he's still getting that, that extra, money for his disability rating. And then when he went back to Maryland or whatever in April, I think he was out of work for maybe about like 3 weeks to a month. So you've been working. I say like if he's been gone for 3 months or whatever from me, you've been working out of them 3 months. You've been working 2 months that whole time. So you got that lump sum of, the 26,000. Then on top of that, you getting disability from the VA every month, and you're working. So how did you run through, and you're staying on your brother's couch? And mind y'all, the brother asked him to help him with some bills and stuff like that. And my soon-to-be ex-husband said, hell no, I'm not paying him nothing. I'm not giving him shit. Yeah. So with all that being said, you're not paying no bills at the brother's house. You're sleeping on the couch, right? Only bill that you're paying for is maybe your cell phone bill, and that's literally it. You're not paying, and maybe student loans. You're not paying nothing else. So where the hell is all this money going? Where's all your money going? You got the money coming. You had that money, the $26,000. Then you got the money that's coming every single month, and you're working now. So how did you run through that whole $26,000? I'm confused. I'm mind blown. I'm not understanding. So when I'm coming there, I remember him telling me like, oh yeah, I'm not going to be able to pay for any more hotels and this, that, and the third or whatever, because I'm basically almost out of that money that I got from, the back pay. So I'm telling him, how are you out of all the money when, I'm saying, you getting the money every month, and on top of that, you're working there. So you're not paying no bills. So where is your money going? Don't y'all know this? Don't y'all know that this man had the nerve to tell me that he spent all his money on me? On me, y'all. On me. Mind y'all, me and the baby was still in California, yes, he was sending me, he was buying formula, Pampers, and wipes, and maybe occasionally some clothes for the baby, and having it from Amazon, and having it shipped over to the house in California. But still, y'all, that amount, the stuff that he was buying, that shit don't add up to no goddamn $26,000. And you was only gone for 3 months. So where did your money go? Something not, you put 2 plus 2, come on now. It's not adding up, y'all. It's not adding up. Where did your money go? So at this point, he's mad at me because I'm asking him, I'm questioning him as I should. Because where did you, like, y'all, I know I keep asking, but where did this money go? Where did this money go? You're not paying no bills. You're working and you're getting disability from the VA every single month. So how the hell do you not have no more money left and you can't pay for a hotel? And I just, y'all. Now, I will admit, he did pay, you know what I'm saying, like majority of the moving expenses and shit like that. But the car, you know what I'm saying, all of that stuff or whatever, like the shipping of the car, I don't think that he gave me I don't think he gave me the money for that. So it's like, yeah, you did pay that $1,500 to move the furniture. But other than that, like, you know what I'm saying, where did the money go? So at this point, y'all, whenever I know y'all, I told y'all before, whenever I would approach him or ask him any questions about, or catch him in a lie, y'all, he would start crying. Remember how I told y'all that? Yeah. So now he done moved on from crying. So now he like, shit, I'm just gonna shut down now. So every time I ask him a question or anything like that, I catch him in some shit, I catch him in a lie, then he's like, I'm sad. I'm gonna stop talking now. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, so that happened or whatever. So I'm at that point, because I feel myself getting worked up. So, woosah. But yeah, so after that or whatever, like I was just like, hey, like, you know, it is what it is, because I was so mad about that. Like, how you just, like, you really got to be bad, terrible with money. Terrible. Like, and I'm just thinking to myself, like, I don't think that I could be in a relationship with somebody who just makes terrible decisions like that. Like, you got that money, like the money just be burning your hands. Like, you don't know how to hold on to no money at all. You just, as soon as you get it, you just gotta, oh, I want to buy this VR headset, and then you play with it for a couple of days, and then afterwards you don't use it no more. But right there, that's that, you know what I'm saying, $400 or however much it costs. Then on top of that, you know what I'm saying, buying all these gadgets and all these electronics and shit that cost all this money, and then you're not using it. So y'all, and then you want to know where his money went, y'all? Take a wild guess. Fishing equipment, y'all. This man bought all this. So remember what he was telling me about, yeah, I'm going fishing, babe, I'm going fishing. Yeah, he spent thousands of dollars on fishing equipment, fishing rods, fishing backpacks, fishing lunch boxes, like just everything fishing. And does he go fishing to this day? No. He gave all of that fishing equipment away to the dude with the baby mom who will be smoking and drinking in front of the kids. So by this time or whatever, I'm just like, man, I'm trying to keep my family together. I'm trying to just, like, at this point, I'm thinking, like, maybe I can change him. Maybe, you know, with, like, as long as I'm here and, like, you know, here to, like, not watch him, but, like, you know, like, to help him make better decisions or whatever. Maybe, like, eventually he will change and, you know, become the grown man that he, you know what I'm saying, is supposed to be. Did that happen? Hell no. That did not happen. No. So at this point, y'all, I'm like, shit, I got to get a job or whatever, because I'm still trying to get, so me personally, y'all, when I move into a house or like an apartment or anything like that, I want to make sure that I have everything that I need, like, up front, so I can be comfortable and accommodated as soon as possible. So with that being said, I know that, like, at this point, in order for me to, you know, make sure that I have everything that I need so that I can be accommodated and comfortable and all of that stuff or whatever, that I need to get a job. So while I was back in Philly or whatever, I ended up getting, you know, like a little quick job, like working at Amazon and stuff, like delivering packages and stuff, right? Okay, listen to me, don't judge. So with that being said, when I was in Philly or whatever, and even when I was in California, my ex-husband used to call me all the time, and I used to be like thinking to myself, like, oh, he loved me so much, but really he was just calling to keep tabs on me, y'all. Like, just calling to keep tabs on me. So he would be on the phone with me for y'all for hours. Like, I'm talking about all day. If he could be on the phone with me for 24 hours, he would. He would be on the phone with me all day long. He want to make sure that it's just me and the baby. Ain't nobody else, you know what I'm saying, in the picture, in the background, none of that shit. And on top of that, so remember how when I was giving birth or whatever, and he got the 26,000, he asked me, like, yeah, what he told me, he didn't ask me what I wanted as my push gift, because I would have said something else, like, you know, maybe pay a bill, or you know what I'm saying, my credit card debt that I had at the time. I'm one of those type of people. I don't care about, like, bags. I mean, I do like nice bags. I do like nice clothes, but me personally, I care more about getting out of debt. That's my number one. Once I take care of my debt and all of that stuff or whatever, then I feel like I can splurge on things that, you know, I enjoy and make me happy. But until then, I'm trying to, you know, pay off debt. So instead of him asking me what I wanted as a push gift, because I would have told him, you know what I'm saying, like, pay this credit card bill, pay it off. Instead, he decides that he wants to get me a cell phone. And at first I was thinking, like, oh, well, that's sweet, because I did need a new phone. Tell me why from the beginning, y'all, he put, like, not a GPS tracker or something, but, like, he had it where he could see my location everywhere I go. I guess, like, but since it was under his name, it wasn't like, you know how you do, like, text messages and stuff like that, and you could share your location with other people. It wasn't like that. Like, it was like where my phone was in his, like, Find My iPhone, and I'm not like a technical, you know what I'm saying, like, genius, or like with technology and stuff like that, so I didn't know how to take it off. But in the beginning I was just like, you know, it's not a problem, because, you know, he's my husband. I had his location, he had my location, and I trusted him, and I just, you know, assumed that he trusted me. So when I started working for Amazon or whatever, like, you know, because I want to buy furniture, I wanted some, you know what I'm saying, nice furniture, I wanted some nice stuff. So I started working at Amazon, and I remember, like, he used to purposely be on the phone with me, because, y'all, what they say about them warehouse jobs, y'all, that shit be true. That shit really be true. So when I got to Amazon, all the dudes was on me. Everybody was trying to talk to me. Everybody. And I'm not gonna lie, y'all. It was It was some fine ones, you know what I'm saying, at Amazon. But I didn't end up talking to them or nothing like that, because at the end of the day, I have a husband, and I don't really care. I can look at a man and be like, oh yeah, he's fine. But I'm not going to be attracted to him, because at the end of the day, I care more about like your personality and all that stuff or whatever. And that's probably why and how I got myself into this situation now, because I should have cared about more than just the connection and shit like that. I should have cared about other things other than just that. But you know, I digress. So, anywho, yeah, so he used to get so jealous, y'all. Like, he would call me in the morning and say he would want to be on the phone with me all day long while I'm at work delivering packages for Amazon. Like, all day long. And then while I would be, like, you know, when I first get there and stuff, and we having our little meeting before we deliver the packages and stuff, all these dudes used to be coming up to me, trying to talk to me and stuff, and be like, you know, like, just, like, flirting with me and shit. And then he would be on the phone, and he would just be quiet as a mouse, just listening to what these dudes were saying to me and stuff. But, like, yeah, like, he didn't like that shit at all. So, he was tracking my location. He was, like, just basically, like, stalking me from Maryland, basically, pretty much. So, after, while working at Amazon or whatever, I had only been working at Amazon for a week before I got hurt on the job, and I had a workman's comp case, okay? So, keep that in mind. So by this time, it's time for us to move into our apartment, because it's September, well, the end of September. So by this time or whatever, y'all, I don't know how, but like I had like I had a slip and fall at Amazon while I was delivering the package. So my knee was messed up, both of my knees was messed up, and my back was messed up at the same time too. But and by this time, the apartment is ready and stuff like that. So I had left that job, and I, you know, going to therapy and all that stuff or whatever to support my workers' comp case and all of that stuff. But I was doing it from Maryland. So y'all, despite him spending all of that money and stuff like that or whatever, I'm not gonna lie, it just felt good to be back around him and stuff, because, you know, like at the end of the day, I love my husband, and I'm not going to sit here and say that I don't love him, because at the end of the day, I wouldn't have did all of the things that I did for him, you know, so far, if I did not love him. And when you love a person, like sometimes even though they do you dirty, it's kind of hard to just, you know, erase all of those feelings that you have with a person, especially when you have a child with them. Like it's very hard. So with that said, when we moved to Maryland and stuff and all that, everything was good for the first couple of months and stuff like that. And then until I started noticing a few things, right? So with the job that he had working at the nursing home or whatever, I used to have to take him, because y'all, he can't drive. So I used to have to take him and the baby. And by this point, our daughter is like almost 1 year old, and she's chunky. Like, but you know what I'm saying? A cute little chubby little baby, you know? But mind y'all, I got hurt on the job. So my back is messed up and my knees are messed up. So now we back on the driver's license topic, where I'm asking him like, hey, you know, because I had to, like, in the morning, I would wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning with him, and then he would be talking about that man that he don't like or whatever from sun up to sun. Y'all, he used to call me while he's at work to talk shit about this man, and I used to be like, oh my God, like, please stop. Like, but I never told him that, because like I said, I'm trying to be a supportive wife, and you know, or whatever. So I used every single day, y'all. We used to put the baby in the car. I used to drive to his job, drop him off at work, and then I would drive all the way back home, and then have to get the baby. And mind y'all, at this time I had a 2016 BMW, and it was a 640. So if anybody's familiar with the, you know what I'm saying, the 640 version or whatever BMW model and shit, y'all would know that bitch sit low to the ground, because it's a fast car. But at the time, I'm like, yo, I'm trying to, you know what I'm saying, get a family car, but I'm trying to do like. I'm trying to basically make a good decision. Like, I don't want to get into a car where I got negative equity and all of that stuff or whatever. So I was trying to, like, you know, pay down the car a little bit more before I made that decision. So when we first moved into the apartment, he said that it would be a bright idea for us to put cameras in the apartment. And me, I'm like, you know, like I did want to be able to check up on the baby and, you know what I'm saying, see what she's doing. Or he told me that when his family comes over and stuff like that to help us with the baby and stuff, like, you know, we could be able to, you know, like check on our phone, see what's going on, make sure, you know, the baby is being taken care of properly. So he put a camera in the living room, in our daughter's room, and a camera. At first, there wasn't no camera in our room, but it was just a camera, like in the living room, in our daughter's room, and we had a doorbell camera. So with that being said, well, he used to be at work now, so we totally off the other stuff, because like he just refused to get his driver's license. Every time I would ask him, can you get your driver's license? Can you please do this? Can you please do that? He would just shut down. So eventually, I'm like, you know what? I'm already having in my mind that I don't want to be in this relationship anymore, because it just you don't want to do nothing. Like you just don't want to do shit. So with that being said, he used to like watch me on the cameras, and at first I was thinking like, you know, like, oh, it's just for checking up on the baby, maybe, like, you know, even though we lived in the suburbs or whatever, he made it like, oh, it's for security purposes and all this crap or whatever. So I'm just like, whatever. And I had he logged me into the account too, so I was able to see, you know, the cameras and stuff too. So with that being said, I'm not gonna lie, y'all, I used to be talking shit about him, because y'all know why. Like, listen to y'all, do you not hear all the stuff that I'm saying about this man? Of course I was talking shit. I was talking shit to my mom, my sister, everybody, just asking them like, yo, should I stay in this marriage or whatever and try to make, you know, my family work, or should I just like cut my losses and just leave? So mind y'all, the only blind spots that we had in the house at the time was the kitchen, the bathroom, and my room, basically. So whenever I would be on the phone, at first I used to go into my room, you know, like sit on the bed and, you know, just talk a little bit of shit, because I knew that he was like, you know, listening, because he like throughout the day, he would call me when he know that I'm not doing nothing or whatever. He would look at the camera and be like, oh yeah, she's not doing nothing. I'm finna call her and complain about this man I don't like at the job, because he used to call me every single day, talk to me like, do your work, bro. Do your work. Stop calling me. I'm already dealing with the baby and stuff, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, because I used to be a stay-at-home mom. So focus on your job and, you know what I'm saying, talk to me about whatever when you get home. So I noticed one day that like What happened? Yeah. So I was talking on the phone, and I like he used to be watching me, y'all. So every time I get on the phone or whatever, he would be like he would be sitting at work with his camera or whatever. I don't know. I'm just assuming that this is what he would be doing, and he would just be watching what I was doing. So every time I would talk on the phone, mind you, the cameras, you can hear everything too. So I used to go into my room and do my shit talking and all of that. So then tell me why after I would get off the phone and come back into the living room and stuff to, watch TV or, be with the baby and all that stuff or whatever, he would call me and be like, why you go into the room to talk on the phone? Why you ain't talk on the phone in the living room? Like, duh, dummy, I don't want you to be in my business. That's why I'm going into the room to talk on the phone. Like, what? So then after that, he decides to buy an extra camera and puts it in the room, in my room, so that he could watch me, so that I can't. So at this point, I can't even go if my mom or my sister or anybody calls me. I can no longer go into the room in the house where I live at to talk on the phone. I can't even talk on the phone in the house, period. And if I do want to do it, I got to do it either in the bathroom or in the kitchen because he's watching my every move. Mind you, at this point, and then when I leave the house, he has a tracking device on me, like on my phone. So it's like you're tracking my whereabouts. You know where I'm going. Not that I have a problem with that, but at this point, it's becoming like I'm with a stalker. Like, So then I would tell my family about it, like, yo, he's putting up all these cameras and stuff, like, it's really getting out of hand at this point, and it's really making me feel uncomfortable.
At this point, this is no longer relationship problems. This has moved into controlling and, quite frankly, scary. And on another note, how dare he exhibit bum behavior and then want to take away her privacy to be able to express it and vent about it? So I guess maybe he should listen to the description, all the adjectives that apply to him with regard to all that he is not.
The relationship is getting real hostile because like he's not. I'm asking him about the driver's license. He's refusing to get it. Then let me tell y'all this. So then we was getting into an argument because that job that he refused to come to California to help me drive from California back to Maryland. He up and quit that job, y'all. They gave him a promotion. They gave him a promotion from $20 an hour to $50,000 a year. And they told him that if you do a good job, within that year, we're going to raise your pay or whatever to $60,000 a year. Y'all, as soon as he went through the whole process, but all the interviews and everything like that. And then once they told him, yeah, you're the director of maintenance now. That's when he decided, yeah, I'm not showing back up to work no more. I'm just not going to come. So then at that point, they're like, because they're desperate. So they're begging him to come back to work. They were calling his phone. They were like, his mom worked at the nursing home as well. So they were harassing his mom. Like, when is he coming back? Did he know what happened to him? Like, we really need him. Then they even got to the point where they started calling me, asking me, leaving messages on my phone. Like, where's he at? Can he please come back? We just want to talk to him. So then they put a job posting up saying that they were trying to he could have negotiated with them for a higher salary, because when they put up the job posting on Indeed, they said that they was trying to pay somebody $65,000 to $75,000 a year. So I'm like, yo, they're desperate. They really want you to come back. You can negotiate, like tell them like, hey, I don't like the conditions or whatever, but I'm willing to come back if you guys raise my pay. He said no, he don't want to do it. But you know what he did do, y'all? Tell y'all this. I'm trying so hard not to cuss. This man left that job. He quit that job to start working at this horse racetrack, getting paid $14 an hour. And y'all, he still works there to this day. He still works there. Yes, $14 an hour. So you left a job that was paying you, that just gave you a raise to $50,000 a year and possibly more, to go to this job working, smelling horse shit for $14 and some change an hour. So hell yeah, I was mad. So you're not trying to get your driver's license. You quit a job that could have been, a career job or something for you. You quit that job to work at a damn horse racing, a horse track job or whatever. A jockey club, making $14 an hour. So yeah, I was heavily heated. So at this point, we're arguing and stuff, and I'm basically telling him, like, I'm not, me personally, y'all, every woman, and I don't know if this is every woman, but me personally, I'm always, like, trying to be on the up and up. I don't want to be living in apartments for the rest of my life. Like, eventually, I'm going to want to raise my family in a house. I want to buy a house. I want to have a home. I want to take trips with my family. These are all things that, I want to do with my family. But unfortunately, those things cost money. And if you're not making money, we're not going to be able to do any of those things. And then on top of that, if I'm a stay-at-home mom, and we don't have, childcare, and then on top of that, remember how I said that he said that his family was going to help us out? Y'all, they never came to visit the baby. They never came. The whole entire time that we was there, they never showed up to see the baby. So you conned me into moving. I told him, that like I want better, more for our family. Like I don't want to raise my family in an apartment. I want a house, because that's how I grew up. I want a house, and I want to be able to take trips as a family, and we need money. And how are we going to, do those things if I'm a stay-at-home mom and you're working at a racetrack for $14 an hour? How is that possible? Then on top of that, he's still refusing to get his driver's license. So by this point, I'm calling my family and I'm asking them like, hey, do you think that it would be a wise decision, or would I be wrong if I decided to ask him for a divorce, like, asking for myself? So yeah, y'all, it was a lot of tension, just building and building and building, because after a while, I stopped, like, I just got tired of asking him, to do the simplest stuff. Like, I just thought, it is what it is at this point, because I already had in my mind that I was leaving. So then he just so he, not only was he not trying to get his driver's license and he quit that job to work at the new job, but then he just stopped doing stuff around the house. Like he already wasn't really doing much. Like literally the only thing that he was doing was taking out the trash. Y'all, he stopped taking out the trash and the dumpster was right across the street. We lived on the first floor. We had a parking spot right in front. Like it was perfect, real nice. And the dumpster was right across the street. It was not far. I maybe take like 10 steps to well yeah not really 10. I say like 20 steps to get to the dumpster. Like it was not far and he refused to take out the trash. Then he started talking about, oh, I have anxiety and I'm gonna take the trash out at night. Then because he didn't like he don't want people seeing him during the day take out the trash. So instead he like, yeah, I'm gonna take it out at night. The night would come, he wouldn't take it out. He'd be like, I'll take it out tomorrow. Then tomorrow would come, I'll take it out tonight. Then that night come, I'll take it out tomorrow. It would be the same thing. The trash would be sitting and building up, piling up by the front door, and he just refused to take it out. Then he would get upset with me because I would keep asking him like, baby, can you please take out the trash? Baby, can you take out the trash? It smells a little bit in here. Can you please take out the trash? Can you please take out the trash? And he'd be like, yeah, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it on his game, just playing. Never does it. Just never take out the trash. So I'm like, yeah, I'm definitely leaving this dude. Definitely. So then one day, I know y'all probably gonna be like, well, why didn't you just sit down and have a conversation with him about it? So I did. I had a conversation with him like, hey, these are my dislikes. I don't, like how I feel like you're watching me all day long. I don't like that. I don't like how you're refusing to get your driver's license and you promised me at this like he'd been promised me that he was going to get his driver's license. You're not doing it. Then on top of that, you said that this racetrack job or whatever that you got was going to be temporary and it's looking like it's not going to be temporary because he actually enjoyed working there because he didn't do anything. He got to watch Breaking Bad all the whole entire time that he was at work. So he like, yeah, I got, I'm feeling it. I got to catch up on my shows and stuff. Like he's not it's looking like he doesn't want to get another job. So I brought up the fact that like if things don't change for me, but I'm like I'm sorry, but I'm just going to have to like I'm going to have to leave. Like I don't think that I can continue to be in this relationship, and you're not doing what you need to do as a husband, as a provider, and a man. Like you're just not you're not standing on business. You're not doing none of the stuff that you said that you was going to do. What does he do when I start having this conversation with him, y'all? Take a wild guess. He starts crying. He starts playing the victim. He starts, oh, I can't. You're gonna divorce me? You're gonna leave me? Oh my god! Like, and I'm over here trying to, because it just be like every time I would bring up something, or even every time I would cry about something that like is really upsetting me, and I'm really passionate about, he would start crying. That's what I'm talking about. The narcissist, stuff or whatever, y'all. He would start crying every single time I would start crying, or I would start talking about something, what I'm saying? He feel like I'm about to cry. He would be like, let me cry first. That's how it would be. And I know it sounds ridiculous, but I'm telling you, this is how it would happen. So that I would stop talking about whatever it is bothering me, and I would focus on my attention on like trying to make him feel better and get him to stop crying. Like that's literally how it would be. Y'all, at this point, I felt like I got a daughter and a son. Like that's really how I feel because I'm like I gotta keep on telling you get your driver's license. I gotta keep on telling you take the trash out. I gotta keep on telling you all these things, and then you know what I'm saying, getting annoyed with me because I'm like, hey, can you do this? Can you do that? And you're just not doing it. So at this point, y'all, we start arguing. We're starting to argue, and like and our arguments never consist of like name calling or anything like that. But it was starting to like what I'm saying get there. Like it was starting to get there. So every time we would have an argument, y'all, he would take the footage from the cameras and send it to everybody that he was cool with. He would send it to his brother, his stepbrother. He would send it to his mom. He would send it to probably the what I'm saying, the other friend that lived in the same complex as us. He would send it to everybody and try to demonize me and make me look like I'm a bad person or something like that. And then when I try to send the footage to show what really happened to my family, then he logs me out. I don't got no more access to the cameras. So now I cannot see what's on the cameras at all. Like when I leave the house, I can't log on the cameras to see what he's doing with the baby and all that stuff. But when I leave the house and when I come in and go in and stuff like that, he can see whatever it is that I'm doing.
I promise you, if I can't see, nobody will see. I promise you that.
So then at a certain point, whatever, like me and the mom was cool because him and his mom had beef with each other. Like she didn't have beef with him, but he the type of person where if you like, she would be begging him for a relationship with him, like begging him to see the baby, begging him like just he likes for you to beg him to like even if he did something to you and you'd be like, you know what, I'm not talking to him. He wants you to beg him to talk to him again. So he used to make his mom and his sister beg him to see the baby. But his mom used to be like, I love your son. I love you so much, son. I don't know why you treat me this way. I love your son. I know it's funny, but like I said, I was there and I used to have to tell him like, hey, yo, stop talking to your mom like that. But he somehow, in some way, got me, what I'm saying, like the whole family. And mind you, I don't have no family in Maryland at all. Like, so his family, and I didn't have no friends either. So his family and him were the only people I had. So he basically like was just isolated me by sending them these videos of me and him arguing. They would take his side because his mom desperately wants to be, cool with him.
Isolation is one of the biggest warning signs in abusive relationships, and a lot of people don't even realize it's happening until they're already trapped and it is much too late. Actually, it's never too late. Because if you're still alive, you can get out.
He don't even fuck with the family because he been talking hella shit about his entire family and everything like that. And yeah, they don't even know. But hopefully, if they ever watch this video, he don't fuck with y'all. He did. Shamar. He said Shamar got a little ass penis. Who else? And he don't like him. Shamar be cheating on his fiance. He be smashing all these girls without a Jimmy hat. Yeah, from Facebook. Yeah. And he don't get checked. And when he went out for his grandma's funeral in Jamaica, he smashed this nasty girl. And he was scared that he almost gave an, ST to his fiance, and she has no clue. And the mom, her husband be cheating on her all the time. And the husband be splurging and buying all this stuff for all these side chicks and stuff. And yeah, he just be cheating on the mom, and the mom knows. And I know everybody's business because guess what? He was talking about y'all, and he don't like y'all. So while y'all over here ganging up on me, you need to be looking at him because, yeah, I know all about all y'all. But anywho, so while he was doing that stuff or whatever, and they're basically choosing his side, especially his mom, because she desperately wants her son to not be mad at her and, whatever. I'm basically all alone in Maryland. So I'm just like, y'all, I'm telling y'all, I was really trying because I don't want to be that mother that when my daughter grows up and she be like, blaming me for the reason why she don't have a good relationship with her father, or blaming me for the reason why our marriage broke up, like our marriage didn't work. Like, I don't want her to blame me because her dad be like, well, your mom said that she wanted a divorce, your mom did this. So I really was trying to make our family work, y'all. I really was trying to, because I don't I'm like, we married, we have a child together. I wasn't raised in a 2-parent household, so I want my daughter to be raised in a 2-parent household. But it was just so toxic, y'all. So months go by or whatever. By this time, it's the summer. So I had my grandmother passed away last summer around this time. So I remember telling my soon-to-be ex-husband, I was like, hey, my grandma on my dad's side passed away, and she's having her funeral on Monday. So I told him 2 weeks in advance, and I let him know, like, hey, remember my grandmother's funeral is coming up, whatever. So in the beginning, he was trying to tell me, like, I shouldn't be going to my grandmother's funeral because he was like, oh, you guys didn't have a close relationship anyway, so why are you even going to her funeral? So I told him at the end of the day, even though we didn't have a close relationship, and I haven't spoke to her for a long time or whatever, I'm still going to go to, because that's my grandmother's funeral, and that's the least that I can do. Why would I? That's my grandma. That's my grandmother's funeral. So in the meantime, his stepbrother invited him to his fiance's sister graduation party or something like that. So he's telling me, like, yeah, the graduation is coming up, and I need to go because it's a dress code. Like, his brother really wanted him to go to the thing or whatever, which I was just kind of, like, confused. Like, why is the brother even going to, like, why is his stepbrother even going to this girl's graduation if his fiance isn't even going to the, Like, so why are you going to your fiance's, well, I'm gonna call her your girlfriend because y'all ain't getting married. Why are you going to your girlfriend's sister graduation without the girlfriend being there? That don't make no sense. And then you bring in, my husband with you and stuff. Like, I don't know, it just wasn't adding up to me. So my soon-to-be ex-husband is going all out for this graduation. He went and bought some new slacks, some new pants, like, these nice clothes or whatever, like, talking about, yeah, it's going to be really formal and this, that, and the third, and basically made me retwist his hair so that he can look presentable for when he goes to, the graduation. So I'm just like, bro, you over here acting like it's your graduation at this point. Like, what is your, what is the stepbrother wearing? What are all these other people wearing? He's like, they're all going, wearing this and wearing that. We're going to be looking really nice, and it's a dress code, blah, blah, blah. So around this time, I really wasn't getting no sleep because the baby, she kept waking up in the middle of the night. And then on top of that, I'm not like a professional twister, like, hair, a loctician. I'm not a professional loctician. So it takes me a long time when I used to do, retwist his hair. So I stayed up, y'all, till like maybe 2 o'clock in the morning, retwisting this man's hair. And then he promised me that when he goes to the graduation, he was not going to be out all day. He literally told me that he was going to leave, he was going to be gone from 11:30 to like maybe 5 o'clock, around that time frame. And he was going to come back. When he was supposed to come back, he said that we was going to go, we was going to order some some seafood boils, and we was going to watch baddies together. Tell me why this man didn't come home till 8:30, y'all. Did not come home till 8:30. And then when he came home, I was coming back from the playground, taking my daughter to the playground. And when I came back, I see him and the stepbrother. Tell me why the stepbrother got on these ashy pants, these damn pants that he done wore like 1,000 times. And I'm talking about the rips. It was so many rips in the pants. That don't seem formal to me. Then he got Crocs on. You wore Crocs to the girl's funeral? I mean, the girl's graduation? Huh? Then not to mention, he had on a see-through collar shirt on. So you had on a see-through collar shirt, and it had like I think like palm trees or some type of Hawaiian theme or something like that, and it was see-through, and a wife beater on underneath. So I'm looking at, what the brother had on, because my ex-husband made this whole thing seem like, yeah, it's going to be super formal. I got to go there, look in the park. I got to go there, dress to the, to the nines and all this and that and the third. And so when I see the brother-in-law, the stepbrother, I'm looking at him like, okay. And then I'm looking at my husband, I'm like, okay. And then I asked the brother, I'm like, so this is what you wore to the, the event? He's like, yeah, this is what I wore to the event. Mm-hmm, yeah. And then my ex-husband, my soon-to-be ex-husband, he's looking at me like, So I'm like, but I should be the one that's mad, because at the end of the day, this was his day off. He was supposed to help me with the baby, y'all. He lied and told me that he was going to come back at a certain time, because the next morning I was driving to Philly so that I can go to my grandmother's funeral. So I was trying to spend some time with him before I left to go to my grandma's funeral. And then, mind y'all, I have not had no break this whole entire time from the baby, nothing. And then he was trying to convince me to take the baby to the funeral. I'm like, no, I'm not taking my daughter to. Why would I do that? I'm not taking her to the funeral. She's going to stay with you for once. So y'all, I go to the that day we got into it. I still got the seafood boil, but the vibes was off. He didn't even. And then I think that night I drove to Philly, because I'm not a morning person. And my grandmother's funeral was literally that morning. It was like 9 o'clock in the morning. So I'm like, I'm a night owl. I'm going to drive at night and go to Philly. So when I was leaving, he didn't help me load the bag into my bag, what I was going to be wearing into the car. He didn't kiss me goodbye, nothing. Like, he just still had an attitude because I asked the stepbrother, if that's what he wore to the graduation. He was just, like, basically looking for any reason to be mad at me when I should be mad at you. You the one that, that lied about what time you was going to be out. And I'm under some suspicion, like, is there a bitch at the damn graduation that you going to try to impress or something? Like, y'all left off that it was my grandmother's funeral, and he was mad at me because I was going to her funeral. So that same night, I ended up driving home, and everything was fine. I went to the funeral, and I met some family that I've never known existed before. Everything was good. We got reconnected with each other, and it was a good time. And while I was there, I was telling them about my soon-to-be ex-husband, and my family was telling me, like, you better watch out for him, because them type of people with them type of characteristic traits going to end up hitting you. So I was telling them, like, oh no, my ex-husband, he's a punk. He might do a little stuff or whatever, but he not crazy. Like, he would never hit me or do anything like that. Like, nah, he not stupid. So they was like, okay, but if he do, give us a call, because we gonna be coming down to Maryland. And I was like, bet. So after the funeral, whatever, y'all, I decided to stay. I told him, well, I didn't really tell him when I was coming back, but he assumed that I was going to do a turn and burn, drive there, go to my grandmother's funeral, and then come back that same day. Nah, I decided to stay the night and come back the next day, because remind y'all, I told y'all before in the previous videos that I hadn't been getting much sleep, for I think about a week or so. But leading up to my grandmother's funeral, I wasn't really getting no sleep. So I decided to stay the night there. I got plenty of rest, and the next day I came back home. So when I got back home, he had an attitude because he had to take care of the baby by himself and see how it feels to be in my shoes for once and do everything without no help, right? So when I got home, he didn't speak to me, and I'm like, you know what? I'm not speaking to you either. Like, fuck you. You don't want to speak to me? It is what it is. I'm finna go into my little living quarters, because by this point, he was sleeping on the couch for months, and I was just staying in the room by myself. So I guess after me being home for an hour or so, he decides that he wants to come in the room and start with me. So when he walks into the room, he's going to come up to me talking about something. So I just got one question. Like he was on to something. I just got one question. Like he finna check me or something, basically. So I'm like, okay. Like, what's the question? And he so you deliberately chose to stay the night over there or whatever and not come home? And so I told him, yes, I did. Y'all, so I felt like the conversation was about to make a turn. And mind y'all, I said in the previous videos that he was recording me. He liked to catch me on camera and send to his family and stuff. And he logged me out of all the cameras. So I'm like, this time I'm finna take my phone out and I'm finna record. But I wasn't recording with my camera. I did a voice recording so that I could send it to my mom and my family, so that I could they can hear what he be saying to me and his dumbass arguments and how the bitch don't make no sense. So I was trying to do it on a sneak tip though. So I turned it on, while he was talking, I was just like, and then I, turned it on and I put my phone down. But since it was in the blankets and all that stuff, I was just like, damn, is it recording? him talking. So I picked my phone up again and I kind of moved it, not super close, to be obvious, but I literally just picked it up, looked at it, and then put it down. So him being, y'all. So by him always trying to record me and stuff, I guess he was under the suspicion that I was doing the same thing. So tell me why y'all, tell me why he stops coming at me and stuff like that. And then he was like, are you recording me? Are you recording me? So instantly, y'all, I start laughing, because in certain situations where I get nervous and stuff, I don't know how, but I just start smiling and stuff. And I'm not, it's a serious moment, but I'm just so nervous, and that's how it just comes out or whatever. So I'm smiling, and I pick up my phone and shit. Tell me why this man jumps across the bed, snatches my phone from me, takes it, and then looks at my phone to see that I'm recording, and just you know what? You're such a bitch. You're a fucking bitch. So at that point, I'm just whoa, calm down. So then, once he calls me a bitch, y'all, he turns around. And at first, I was just oh, they just words. He's just calling me a bitch. Whatever. You know what I'm saying? I don't really care. But when he turns, y'all, and punches the damn closet door, puts a hole in the closet door, and knocks the closet door off its hinges. So at this point, I'm like, oh, you getting violent. So now it's time for me to stand up, because I have no clue what's finna go down. And I need to, plan my exit, how I'm finna get out of here with the baby if you start acting crazy. So at this point, he punches the door, he knocks it off the hinges, and he sees that I'm scared at this point. I'm alarmed, because I'm trying to de-escalate the situation. Okay, calm down. And he no, because now I should fuck you up. And then starts walking towards me, y'all. So I'm over here yo, he's blocking the door. So I can't even make a run for it or nothing because I'm afraid that if I go, you know what I'm saying, towards the door, he gonna beat my ass.
Okay, so now he's trying to scare folks. But once violence starts escalating around arguments, the situation does become quite dangerous real quick.
I'm contemplating because I'm standing by the window. Mind you, this did not happen in this house because I moved out. But it's kind of like the same setup, kind of. So I'm like standing by the window, like, yo, how am I gonna? I'm not like, when I get nervous, I start smiling. But I'm just like, yo, how am I gonna get out of here through the fucking window before he come over here and beat my ass? So then I guess our daughter heard him yelling at me and stuff, and she comes in, y'all, and saves the day. She saved me. She saved me because he was finna beat my ass. He was really about to fuck me up. And she comes in and she like, you know, crying, and she comes over to me and I pick her up and I'm just like, you know, calm down. So here's where this man, like, he already was crazy before, but here's where it gets crazier. So then after that, like, you know, I pick up the baby and stuff, and then immediately it's like a switch. He starts like, oh, I was just playing. Give me a kiss. Give me a kiss. And I'm over here like, please do not come near me. Please back up. I don't want no problems. Don't touch me. Just, you know what I'm saying? Keep your distance, please. So then he's like, I was just playing. I don't know what came over me. I was just playing. It was just a joke and this, that, and the third, and, you know, whatever. So I'm like, you know what? I'm about to, you know, it's a hostile situation. I'm about to leave. So then, y'all, he wasn't even trying to give me back my phone so that I could use the GPS to get me and the baby home. So I say to him, well, since you won't give me my phone because you mad that you just threatened me, you punched a hole in the wall in the closet, you broke the closet door, and then you're mad because you wanted me to show you affection after you just threatened to whoop my ass and then was coming charging at me. Are you crazy? Like, you must be deranged. So then I said to him, like, okay, like, I wasn't finna leave the baby at all. But I'm like, if you're not trying to give me my phone back so I can use the GPS so that I can get to my family, then I'm not about to leave and take the baby with me, and we're in the car without a plan or where we're going to go and stuff like that. I don't even know how to get to the next destination. So I say to him, like, if you can keep my phone, but the baby gonna stay here with you. Tell me why he give me my phone back. He like, no, you taking the baby with you. Here's your phone. Take the baby, and then both of you, you know, just leave. Part 15 on how I made the biggest mistake of my life by marrying and having a child with my abusive / narcissistic soon-to-be ex-husband. All right, so I last left out the video about how my soon-to-be ex-husband was trying to beat my ass because I went to my grandmother's funeral, and he was mad that, I was recording him because I wanted my family to hear what he'd be saying to me when we have arguments, and he was about to whoop my ass. So yeah, so at that point, I just like, yeah, I'm like, yeah, I gotta go. So he gives me my phone back, and then me and the baby, I packed a bag for us, a big hefty bag, and I just left. So we drove all the way back to Philly, and when I got there, well, on the way there, I called my family. I told them all about it, and they were trying to come down to Maryland and whoop his, you know what. But I told them, you know what, y'all, I'm not trying to go to jail. I'm not trying to lose the things, because I got things to lose. I have things that if I go to jail, I could lose everything. And I'm like, y'all, it's not worth it. You know, I'm already going to file for divorce and stuff like that. So, you know, it's okay. It's okay. So I eventually drive down to Philly. We get back and I'm at my mom's house and stuff. And so I think that I called his mom or his mom called me. I'm not sure. So either way, me and the mom ended up on the phone together. And I'm trying to tell her about the situation. And she doing more shit talking about her son than I am. I'm trying to tell her about how your son was just threatened to beat my ass and punch the damn hole in the wall, which I have pictures of, because when we go to court for our divorce and all that stuff or whatever, if the judge want to see it, I'm finna show them like this man is violent and yeah. Everybody's gonna know that he's a violent ass bitch. So she telling me, like, I'm telling her, like, yeah, when we was together in the house and stuff like that, like, he would talk so much trash about you, like, and Ben was trying to let you see the baby, but he was just kind of like dangling the baby over his mom's head, like, if you don't do what I want you to do, I'm not gonna allow you to see grandchild, kind of thing. And I'm telling her, like, I was trying to, but I live in a house with him, and at that point, I'm not trying to. Well, before that, I wasn't trying to make him mad. So I'm like, I was kind of in a tough position, but I'm telling him, she like, yeah, he always been a piece of shit, and he never took out the trash when he was living with me, and I raised a terrible son, and just saying all this stuff or whatever. And I'm like, damn, bitch, I'm trying to tell you what happened. You keep on talking, like, shush. So yeah, we was on the phone for hours. Basically, it was mainly for her to vent to me about her son and how, they got a messed up relationship where he always treated her shitty and stuff. And I'm trying to tell her about how your son was just about to, like, he was trying to beat me up in the house, like, whatever. So we eventually got off the phone. So after that, I stayed at my mom's house for maybe about a week. And, after I stayed at her house, he hit me up and was just like, yeah, come home. He never apologized. He just told me, like, I know you feel uncomfortable over there, so you might as well come home. And then we get on the phone and we're talking on the phone. So I remember he was just like, yeah, I didn't even know I was that strong. I didn't even know I was that strong. I'm really strong. I knocked the door off of the hinges. I'm really strong. So I tell him, like, wow, so you're not going to apologize for what you said to me or how you made me feel in that moment or anything like that? Like, you're just not going to apologize at all. So he basically told me no, he's not apologizing because I really pissed him off, and like basically asking me why was I recording him. So I told him like, so it's okay for you to record me and actually send videos of me. Sometimes I'd be half naked and stuff, and you sending videos and you know what I'm saying of me and you arguing and stuff to your family. But me, if I record your voice, now you're trying to beat me up. How like? So, y'all, I know you're probably going to call me dumb or whatever, but yeah, I ended up going back home because that's where my name is on the lease. All of my furniture was in that apartment, and I'm not finna have me and my daughter or whatever sleeping on an uncomfortable couch for, you know what I'm saying, for eternity and stuff while you living comfortably in, you know what I'm saying, an apartment that's filled with my shit. Fuck no. I'm finna go back to where my name is on the lease and my comfortable, nice Tempur-Pedic mattress is. So after I get back home, yeah, things just never the same. Like, it already was like, you know, a hostile situation, but like, it just really was just... Yeah, we wasn't talking, we wasn't saying anything or nothing like that. But y'all, I know you're going to say this, why I say we listen and we don't judge, because I still was trying to keep my family together. Yes, I knew I wanted to have a divorce. Yes, I knew that I should leave, but I was just, something in me was just like, Naya, just try to save your marriage. Try to give your daughter this 2-parent household. Try to, you know what I'm saying, see if we can, you know, work this out. Don't give up, you know, just so, you know, easily. So I tried to make it work. And then for like, I think another 2 weeks or whatever, it was just the trash. Like, oh, y'all. Then, so after I went home and the mom had called me on the phone and was talking all that shit about my soon-to-be ex-husband, don't you know this bitch went back and told him everything that I said? And then next thing you know, that she used me as a way to get back cool with him. And they had beef. Crazy. So every time like we would like after I came back or whatever, I just realized that you know, she wasn't talking to me no more. Like, and every time something, you know, would go down between me and him, we'd have an argument about anything. He would just, even if we didn't even have an argument, he would just call his mom up on the phone and just be talking shit about me right in front of my face. Just call her up on the phone and be talking shit. And then me, I just like, I didn't say nothing back because at the end of the day, this man is violent. You're going to try to, you just tried to, you know what I'm saying, use me recording you as an excuse to beat me up. So if at this point you talking on the phone to your mom and shit, and then I tell you, fuck you and that bitch or whatever, now you're going to try to, you know what I'm saying, beat me up again. So I'm just like, you know what? It is what it is. I'm not even going to say nothing. So I remember, y'all, this one particular day, and this was the day where I was like, yeah, I had enough. I'm done with this. So this one particular day, his mom and his mom's husband decides that they want to come over to the house. And at this time, y'all, I remember, I don't know if y'all seen the other videos, but I had been like begging him to take out the trash, begging him. So at this point, I put the trash by the door, and the trash had been sitting by the door, y'all, for 3 whole days, 3 days. And he just refused to take out the trash. So when his mom and his mom's husband came over to the house or whatever, he all hyped like to show off this, you know what I'm saying, show off his child. They don't help me take care of her. Not even help me take care of her, but you don't even spend time with your own child. But you so quick to be like, look, everybody, look at this baby. Look at this cute baby that I have, right? So when they came, and then I remembered, because I mean, y'all, I like to fight. I mean, I don't like to. I would try to, not to. But if somebody talking shit, y'all, I'm not the type that like to argue and shit. I'm the type to be like, all right, so what you trying to do next? You know what I'm saying? So when the mom came over and shit, I just remember how the bitch was talking shit. Like, you called me on my phone and you was talking all this stuff about him, but now y'all be talking on the phone in front of me, you know what I'm saying? And then I know that the bitch is talking shit just by the response that he's giving her and stuff while they on the phone. So at this point, I got a bone to pick with this hoe. So the bitch come, you know what I'm saying, to the house or whatever, and he takes the baby outside. So when he outside with the baby, I took the trash and I threw that shit out there and I closed the door. So I know that they was just like, oh, she just took the trash and threw it outside. Like, yeah, bitch, I did. Now say something. I dare you. All right, y'all, I'm finna start the next video because now we get into the divorce and another argument and stuff like that, whatever. So please continue to like, comment, and share, support my content, you know, and yeah, I'm thankful for everybody for listening to my story so far. Thank you so much. Part 16 on how I made the biggest mistake of my life by marrying and having a child with my soon-to-be ex-husband. All right, so the last video I left off that I threw out the trash outside, and they was mad because they like, who's she throwing trash at, kind of thing. Like, bitch, I'm throwing trash at y'all. So after that, I go back in the room and stuff because I'm like, yeah, even though it wasn't a lot, but I just feel like I just, you know what I'm saying, like stuck up for myself a little bit. Like, yeah, y'all thinking that I'm, you know what I'm saying, pussy over here, and ain't shit pussy about me, period. Only thing is, I don't fight men, but I damn sure fight a woman. I will fight a bitch. But anywho, so I'm in the room, I'm chilling and shit, you know, like, yeah, who do you think they is, you know, on my phone. So next thing you know, he comes back in the house or whatever, and he comes into the room, and he's like, you just disrespected me in front of my mom. You just disrespected me in front of my mom. So I guess he thought that I was about to be like, oh no, I just disrespected you in front of your mom. No. It was the exact opposite. I'm like, man, fuck you and your mom, bitch. How about that? Fuck you and that bitch. And tell her I said that shit too. So then he's like, I can't believe you just you just did that. Don't talk about my mom like that. So I'm like, fuck your mom. Fuck that bitch. Fuck your stepdad. Fuck your brother. Fuck everybody. Fuck all you niggas. Fuck your sister. Who want to get active though? Because I'm tired. You want to get active with me? Get your sister or your mom to get active with me. So then he's like, you know what? I want a divorce. So So I told him, bitch, I've been wanting a divorce. Who's going to file? Do you want to file or do you want me to file? Like, what do you want? How you want to split up custody? Who do you want to pay child support? Do you want, you know what I'm saying, 50-50? You want joint custody? What you want? How you want to split this up? So when either one of us go file or whatever, we can put that shit in the divorce. Like, we need to talk about this now because I'm tired of you. So as soon as he seen that I was actually happy that he wanted a divorce or whatever, now as soon as I start talking about how you want to do custody, how you want to, you know what I'm saying, split up these assets and shit, how do you want to go about all of this? Now you walking away. You don't want to talk about it no more because you thought that you was going to tell me that you wanted to get a divorce and I was about to start crying and shit like, oh my God, I can't believe. No, I was happy. I was like, thank you. Because I've been feeling bad this whole time thinking like, damn, I really want a divorce. But you should keep your family together. But now since you asked me for a divorce, thank you so much. You just gave me an exit from this shitty ass marriage. You really did. Thank you so much. So, y'all, after that, it was real quiet around the house. We wasn't talking, wasn't saying nothing. And then don't y'all know that this bitch left the trash out there? So he left the trash sitting outside in front of the door. He just refused to take out the trash. So at this point, I'm like, y'all, I'm getting a divorce, whatever. But I'm still, you know what I'm saying, living there because, like, I'm trying to plan, you know, what's going to happen from here? Like, we going to get the divorce? Like, how, you know what I'm saying, we breaking the lease? Like, what we doing? Like, you know, I'm trying to get my ducks in a row. So in the middle of me getting my ducks in a row and shit, I'm not going to lie, y'all. Like, I didn't want to, you know what I'm saying, feel like I just gave up completely. Like, I wanted to, so I kept asking him, like, are you sure this is what you want? Are you sure you don't want to work this out? None of that. Like, are you sure? And he was just like, yes, I'm sure. Because in his mind, he wanted me to beg him, y'all. He really wanted me, like, to beg him to, you know what I'm saying, stay in a relationship with me and stuff like that. And I'm like, I'm not begging you for shit. So you sure you want a divorce? Because I'm finna go file right now. And y'all, that's exactly what the fuck I did. I went straight to the courthouse. And of course, I knew that he was watching because he had a GPS tracker on my phone. So I went to the courthouse. I petitioned the court for, you know, a divorce. I put in there that I wanted to, I think, full custody. Yeah, because you're violent and I don't trust you around my child. So full custody is what I want. And I told them about how I want spousal support and I want all of this stuff. Yeah, of course. Then after that, I proceeded to get me a brand new phone because now that we get a divorce, you don't need to track my whereabouts. You don't need to know what I'm doing and where I'm going. That's none of your business. So I got me a new phone and he noticed that and he was mad because he like, damn, this bitch is leaving the house and I don't know where she's going. Ugh, this is sick. This is crazy. Yeah, so he was mad that, you know, I got me a new phone and yeah, I wasn't putting up with his shit no more. So then after that, y'all, it's like, so a couple of weeks went by and then the sheriff, then he was trying to tell me to give him the papers. Like, bitch, it don't work like that. You need to be served. We ain't doing nothing that's going to, you know what I'm saying, make this divorce process null and void, honey. I'm following all the steps. So if they say I got to have a sheriff come and serve your ass, that's exactly what the hell is going to happen. So after the sheriff came and shit, then he got on the phone with his mom. They started running their mouth and, you know, yip, all of that. Can't, you know what I'm saying? Whatever. It is what it is. So then a couple weeks after that, like, I remember we was in the kitchen. No. So after a couple weeks after that, y'all, then at this point, I'm like, shit, we broken up. We not together no more. So therefore, all this, you know what I'm saying? You seeing all of this, you know, me walking around the house half naked and all this stuff. You coming in the bathroom while I'm taking a shower. You know what I'm saying? No. None of that. Walking around the house fully clothed from now on. You need something out of the bathroom? Okay, wait until it's decent. You know, I'm not decent right now. I don't have no clothes on. Then trying to tell me, you know, I seen you naked before already. You know, I already seen all of that. You do know that, right? You don't have to put on clothes every time you're around me. You do know that, right? Ain't wrong. Like, we're not together no more. So all of the access that you had to me before I filed for divorce is no longer, we don't touch me. Don't, I'm gonna make sure I'm fully clothed all the time. What else? Yeah, no hanky-panky, no kisses, no touching, no nothing. So I remember one day we was in the kitchen, we were talking. Then he come into so in the kitchen, it's like it's a dead end. It's only one way in the kitchen and one way out the kitchen. So I'm in the back of like the kitchen, like the dead end portion. So he comes in there, he like trying to, cause I'm holding the baby, and he like all up on me trying to like, you know, like be flirtatious and whatnot. So he come talking about something, getting all close to me, like, you know, all up in my face and shit. So I'm backing up like, excuse you, you know. So then he like, you know, you want to give me a kiss. So I'm like, no, honey, please back up. So then he tries again. He like, come on, you know you want to give me a kiss. Come on, you know you miss me. So I'm telling him like, sir, please back up because you're really making me feel uncomfortable. I do not consent. I do not want any kisses. I do not want you touching me. Nothing. So then this man gets mad. And what does he start doing, y'all? Take a wild guess. Just guess. This man starts crying because he's mad because he think that because I'm still supposed to be having sex with him, supposed to be, you know what I'm saying, lovey-dovey and doing all that stuff or whatever. Sir, you asked me for a divorce. Why are you trying to kiss me and touch me, sir? You say you don't want to be with me no more. Back. So then he's crying to me. He's like, yeah, I just can't believe, you know, that this is happening. And I asked him, like, do you still want a divorce? And he like, yeah, I still want a divorce. And I'm like, okay, well, don't touch me. Don't kiss me. Don't expect nothing sexual out of me. Nothing. So ever since I said that, y'all, he decided that he did not want to help me with the baby no more. He didn't want to spend time with his child anymore. He didn't want to love on his child anymore. He didn't want to do nothing. He's like, oh, well, since you're not, you know what I'm saying, willing to do the thing with me no more, now I'm not giving no attention to my daughter. Now I'm finna take out why I'm mad, because apparently when I call you out your name, and apparently when I threaten to beat on you and stuff like that, that don't phase you. So now how am I going to phase you? I'm going to take it out on my daughter. I'm going to take it out on our daughter, because I know that's the way that it's going to get to you. Y'all, this is the last video for the day. I got to go pick up my daughter from daycare. So I'll continue to tell you guys the story tomorrow, but I'm going to be honest that the story is about to wrap up pretty soon. But yeah, thank you so much for listening to my story, and I really appreciate it. Thank you. And please like, follow me, and be supportive. Thank you. He wanted to still do the thing with me, extracurriculars, and I told him no, because we're getting a divorce, so why are you like, no. And from there, he decided that he didn't want to help me with the baby anymore. So by this time, I'm like, you know what? I filed for divorce, and he's been served already. So I'm like, I got to start planning where we're moving to, all of this stuff. So before we had, when I was thinking about moving, I made sure that I created this contract, basically like stating that I was taking the baby because we clearly aren't seeing eye to eye, and I was going to take my daughter and we was going to move for the duration of the divorce. So in the beginning, I feel like when I gave him the contract, y'all, he knew it was like serious. He knew, like, damn, she really trying to, you know, cross her T's and dot her I's. Because I'm like, I didn't want to leave without having him sign that contract, and then he calling the police saying I kidnapped his daughter, and, you know, like all this other stuff or whatever. So I just wanted to make sure that I made this contract and I had him sign it, because I don't have time for your antics, your BS, none of that. Like, I want to go home and be around people who actually love me and care about me. So in the beginning, y'all, he wasn't trying to sign the paper. I brought him the little contract that I made, and he just refused to sign it, because in the contract, I said that during the separation period, if I need help with the baby, that you agree to, you know, at least do half, provide half for our child. If I'm providing half, you can provide, you know what I'm saying, the other half, like 50-50. So when he's seeing that, he was just like, what is this? Like, I have to pay for this, and you want me to give you money for no reason? Now, me personally, I'm not, I don't ask for nothing. That's probably why I ended up in this situation in the first place. But yeah, so I don't really ask for much. So he already knew that I wasn't really going to be asking him for things unless I really, really need it, because I barely don't even want to talk to you or be around you. So you're definitely not going to hear from me unless you're seeing your child, or you're, you know, or I need something. So then, y'all, he started talking about, I'm not signing this, I'm not signing it. And I was like, well, like, you want me to leave, right? And he's like, yes. And then I'm like, okay, and you want, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you want me to leave and get out of here? Like, sign this paper so I can be the fuck out of here. Like, so neither one of us have to look at each other anymore. So then eventually, I'm not going to say, like, I forced him to sign it, but I was just basically telling him, like, either way, I'm leaving. I know that you don't have time to take care of our daughter. And me personally, I don't, you know, trust that you can take care of her. So it's either I leave and I take the baby with me because she would be better off with me, or I leave because you don't want me here and the baby can stay with you. Tell me why he signed the paper. Because anytime it got anything to do with him caring and being responsible for our daughter, he's like, no, you take her. You take care of her. So after that, I remember I had the cable, not the cable, but the internet, and I think the electric bill was in my name. But he was paying it. So he was paying those bills, and they were just in my name. So when I was leaving, I made sure I turned all that shit off, and my dumb ass went back and told him, because I felt bad for him. Like, but then I was just like, but you don't feel bad for you, so what the fuck? And then shortly after that, they kind of like spit in my face too. He didn't, like, not literally, but I regret telling him that I was turning off the electric on him, because right afterwards we got into another situation, and I was just like, damn, I should have had that bitch sitting in the dark. But I'm just a good person. But not no more. I'm not being a good person no more, y'all. I'm about to be pure evil. Because being good to people don't get you nowhere. It don't. So, y'all, after that, I found out. So my family, my sister told me that I can come, me and the baby can stay with her for a little while until I was able to, you know, find an apartment. Like, you know, find a place that would be suitable for me and my daughter, basically. So yeah, only thing left at this point, y'all, was to get my furniture out of the house. And my furniture is heavy. Like, you need some professionals with some equipment to move my furniture. Like, it's that heavy. So what do? Being cheap, y'all, I went to Home Depot. Yes, I did. And I saw, you know, our Hispanic brothers out there, and I paid them, you know, a little fee, and they moved the furniture for me. Yeah. Put all that shit on a U-Haul truck, y'all, and it was fast. So then after that, y'all, we got the hell out of Dodge. And mind you, we did it while my soon-to-be ex-husband was at work, so he didn't even see it coming. Like, that day, he was trying to be all flirtatious with me and shit, and I was just like, yeah, huh. And then he went to work, and then I was like, bitch, don't even know that I'm leaving today. I'm out. That nigga came home to an empty house. He was so mad. He didn't like text me or call me or nothing. But like when we finally got on the phone after that, y'all, he would not stop talking about it. We talked for the first time after that. It was like, I want to say like 5 months later, and it was my daughter's birthday. So I'm asking him, like, are you coming to the birthday? And he like, you left me in the middle of the night. You left me in the middle of the night, and you took all the furniture, and you left me in the middle of the night. Like, he just kept saying I left in the middle of the night. I'm like, no, bitch, I left while you was at work. You left at 8:30. I left out of there at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Don't even, you were at work, honey. I left during the day, but you mad. So yeah, he was mad. So then after that, he just started taking out his anger and all of that stuff on me by basically doing it like not seeing our daughter. So now we're at the point where I'm basically like not begging him, but you know, every like in the beginning, you know, I'm like, just because me and you aren't together no more, don't mean that I'm going to stop you or not allow you to see your child. Don't y'all know this man was telling everybody that I'm not letting him see his child? And I'm like, bro, are you serious? Y'all, I would text this man. I was the whole time, he would never text me back, but I would text him and tell him like, hey, Nirvana, I mean, damn. Well, you already knew. But, you know, I would tell him like, hey, our daughter she just got sick. She had RSV, y'all, COVID, 3 ear infections back to back. And I was telling him because she just kept getting sick once she started daycare. So I told him all this stuff. He never texted me, and she had pneumonia. But when I told him all this, y'all, he never texted me back. He never responded. Then he only responded because I kept sending him pictures and, you know, videos. And I guess he felt guilty on her birthday or whatever. So he finally talked to me. But then, y'all, after he finally started talking to me, it was just nothing but like every time we get on the phone, just cussing me out, talking about y'all. This man said to me, and it sounded like a response that only a woman would give. So he was like, you wanted me to chase you because your dad never did. I'm like, bitch, your dad, you don't even have a relationship with your dad. You have not seen your dad in like 10 years, but you over here like, bitch, I just seen my dad like 2 weeks ago. Can you say the same? Then when he said that shit, I was just like, did your mom tell you that or something? Like, you using dumbass comebacks and shit that your mom didn't say to you, bro? Really? Like, come up with your own shit. So yeah, y'all, from that point on or whatever, from that point, ever since I left, I have not heard from him other than the, you know, few curse out occasions and shit like that. And then I think like whenever we get on the phone, he would start recording a conversation because I guess he thinking that when we go to court, the judge going to be like, oh, well, you don't got to pay her child support because she got smart with you on the phone. They don't care about none of that shit. They don't, like, tell me if I'm wrong, y'all. Do they care if y'all be cussing out your baby dads or if your baby dad disrespect you? I'm pretty sure they don't. I'm pretty sure they're not going to be like, oh yeah, baby father, you're not going to have to pay your child support. I mean, the mom child support because you cussed her or she cussed you out the other day. Shit don't work like that. So bitch, go on ahead and keep on recording me. Don't care. He wasn't trying to take care of his child after I left. He didn't check up on her, didn't text me about her, didn't ask to see her, nothing. And whenever I would reach out to him to let him know how she's doing, he would never respond back. So y'all, I left in July of last year, and we are in March. Yeah, he has not seen his daughter, hasn't asked to like see how she's doing. He doesn't call to talk to her on FaceTime. At least like he doesn't do the bare minimum. Don't do nothing. So, you know, this whole entire time I was thinking like, you know what, he don't want to do it, that's fine, the court will make him do it. But I'm not going to lie, y'all. I'm kind of like discouraged. Like when it comes to court, I don't feel like court is going to get me appropriate justice, because the last time when we went for the negotiation hearing and stuff like that, I really thought that they were going to be on my side, because clearly he's not taking care of his child. He's not sending me any type of child support. He's not, like, you know, I have proof that he is violent. Like I have all of this these documents and stuff that support my case, and she was just basically on his side the whole entire time, the whole time. Then the man stole my tax return, because last year we married filing jointly, and he took the money. He never gave me my portion of the money. I found out that he gotten that money the month before we went to court for the negotiation. So when I went to the negotiation, I had told the lady, I was just like, yeah, I asked him, you know, did he get the money? And he told me, yeah. So I looked at her and told her, like, well, if he used my W-2s and stuff like that to, you know, file, and like we filed together, I'm entitled to part of that money. And then she was just like, yeah, but you're going to get your money back when he pays child support. So I told her, I'm like, child support is for the child. That money that he stole was my money. He stole from me. He owes me that money. Whatever money that he gives me for child support is going to be used for the child. So what are you talking about? So then this bitch going to talk about some, oh, well, did he use it for gambling? And of course he like, if he don't got to show bank statements and all this stuff about like where he spent the money, of course he's going to lie. So she's telling him like, well, the only way that he would have to pay you back is if he gambled the money away. And then she was like, did you gamble the money away? And then he was like, nope. And then she was like, yeah, so he doesn't owe you anything. I'm like, yo, I'm really about to snap in here, because like I'm really trying to control myself and keep it together. But I'm just like, yo, like how are you, like, how do you get to be able to steal from me, not take care of your child, treat me so shitty the whole entire relationship? Like, how am I, like, when am I going to win from this situation? Like, when am I really going to, like, you know, not get the one up or whatever, but like, when am I going to get justice for me constantly being like kicked in my ass like over and over again? Like, when? So now I'm like, y'all, like at this point, he just feel like he could just send me, even though the woman told him that he has to pay me $833 a month or whatever when we went to child support. I mean, when we went to the divorce negotiation and shit, he still hasn't been paying me the money. He sends me whatever he feels like sending me. So now I feel like when we go to court, hopefully in May, when we go to our actual like divorce hearing where we talk about child support, and hopefully they finalize the divorce or whatever, I'm just hoping that like I have like a judge who actually seeing that I'm taking care of my daughter full time. I don't get a break. On top of that, I'm paying for the daycare, the health insurance. I'm paying for her to eat. I'm paying for her clothes. I'm paying for literally everything. And he just decides like, oh yeah, even though they said that I owe her $833 a month, I'm gonna just give her this $250. Or if I feel generous, I'm gonna give her like $500. But like literally, that's it. And you don't want to see your child. You don't want to spend time with her. Even y'all. Even when we went to the negotiation hearing and the woman was asking him like, when is he off and all of that stuff, he was trying to make up excuses like he don't have no time at all. When bitch, you work at the racetrack part-time, you don't even work 40 hours a week. You fucking work 4 days in a row and you get 3 days off consecutively. All I was asking is, can you spend time with your child on the 3 days that you have off consecutively every 2 weeks? That's all. That's only 6 days out of the month that you would be spending with your child. And you said no. All of that, you're doing all of that because you are just so desperate to try to hurt me. I really do not understand men who do that. Like, I really don't. I just don't get it, y'all. Because it's like, this is your child. Like, she is a part of you. She, like, she has your DNA in her. And then on top of that, it's like, you were raised by an ain't shit ass parent. And then you talked all of this shit about how bad you wanted to be a father just for you to, like, why would you want to make your child feel the same hurt in the same way that your dad made you feel? Like, y'all, this man used to be crying over his dad some days. Like, some days I would be out, y'all, running errands and, handling my business and stuff. And then I would come back to the house and this man would be sitting in the room listening to British rap music, some sad British rap music. And then as soon as he see me, just burst into tears about his dad, how his dad don't love him and all this stuff. And then you, knowing how your dad made you feel, you want to try, like, you trying to potentially make your daughter feel the same way how you feel about your dad. That don't make, like, that really just, all to hurt me, though. That's, like, I might be like, having a smile on my face, but I really just don't get it. Like, I really don't understand it. Just really don't, y'all. People are sick. So hopefully if there's anybody in the comments or anything that like has been through this type of situation before, and I just like hope that maybe you can leave me like a comment or something like to let me know. Sorry, I had to get myself together. But like, I don't know, send me a comment or something like if you could reassure me that like I am going to get justice when we go to court. Like things have not been bad. Like since leaving my ex-husband, y'all, my life has truly leveled up, like really, really leveled up to like the highest degree. Like now I'm in school, I'm doing well in school, I'm trying to get my degree. Like I have my own place now, we have a nice place. I have a new car, it's not having car troubles. I got like a brand new car. Like everything has been, I'm losing weight, like, but good weight. Like everything has been so much better, so much more like positive ever since I left him. But it's just like in the back of my mind, it just makes me sad because it's like I'm the one that's putting in all the the hard work and the long hours and stuff to make sure that our daughter has a better life than the both of us. But you just get to just decide because we're not together no more, that you could just throw her away. But yeah, y'all, so that really like concludes my story. I thank everybody once again for like watching and liking and sharing and saving and just all the support and stuff. I really thank everybody who actually stuck with me because y'all, this is a lot of parts. And I told y'all that I had to give y'all detail because it's just so much that has happened. And mind you too, I know some people told me like to put all of this videos and stuff in the playlist. I looked it up online and apparently I don't have enough followers to do that. But once I do, trust and believe, I'm going to put all of these videos and make a playlist and put them in order. So forever, like whoever wants to watch the videos and stuff, like it'll be on my page. But thank you so much, y'all. And you know what, just come give me a hug. Give me a hug. Thank you. Care about you guys. And don't forget to like, comment, and follow my page, please. Thank you. Okay, overall from this whole entire story that I told about my abusive / narcissistic ex-husband, I learned a lot. What did I learn from this whole experience? I learned that when a man lies, once I find out that a man lies to me the first time about whatever, anything, to leave his ass. Because if he's lying about something so small, then he's lying about everything in his life. Leave him. That's number one. But also put at number one is my standards. At the time, y'all, I used to, like, I do admit, like, I was trying to show men, like, oh, I'm not all about taking your money, and I'm really a down-to-earth girl, and all this stuff or whatever. No more. That got me nowhere the whole entire time. Like, yeah, it did, get me married, but it got me married to, I don't even know, like, a bum, a cornball. So, yeah, I just never, ever, ever. Have some standards, put more effort into yourself, and also never chase, ever, and always attract. That's it. That's what I learned. And if you guys have any, like, extra, like, I'm probably going to regret this, but if y'all have, something that you feel like I could work on too, or, then, yeah, like, drop some ideas in the comments and stuff, because I'm going on, like, a self-healing journey. That's what my page is about. I'm recovering from this marriage. I'm still trying to find myself again, and just pour back into myself so that I can raise my daughter to always put herself first, and, to have, like, more confidence and not feel, like it just flourish, basically. Like, I want her to see me and be like, wow, like, my mom is just, she's just so beautiful, and the way she carries herself, and, like, I hope, I could be like that someday. But not knowing that, mommy done been through some stuff, and I'm getting myself together. But I want her to see me as a strong, beautiful woman who accomplished everything that she said she was going to accomplish. So yeah, that's pretty much what I learned. So yeah, thank you guys once again for supporting me and watching my stories and stuff. I know it was long, but I'm really grateful for you guys. And yeah, thank you. Please continue to like, comment, and share my story, follow me, and just support my content. Thank you so much.
I'm glad she finally realized she needed to leave because it was getting worse. It was escalating. And I'm glad she got out before anything else could happen because he's putting holes in walls and whatnot. And it was a matter of time before his fist was going to go towards her face. So I truly hope that she and her daughter are both able to heal after going through all of this foolishness with her ex-husband. And I do think it's a shame as well that he has chosen not to be involved in his daughter's life. He just continues to exhibit bum behavior. But I mean, I guess that's all you can do if you're a bum. Talk to y'all later in the comments.